Almost. All right. Welcome to Hops and Brews.
You bastard.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So John, I want you to admit that I have the better costume.
I mean, it's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
I'll give you that. It's a sweet costume.
So John, let's hear about yours first.
Let's hear about mine. All right. It's pretty simple. I got it at S-Mart. Best place to shop.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Ash from Evil Dead.
Nice. So, and your hand is actually clamped.
My
into
hand
that chainsaw.
is clamped
It
in.
is pipe clamped in.
Yes.
Yeah, he cannot let go of the chainsaw.
You can see my hand right there. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm not holding on to anything.
Right.
So everything's gonna be done left-handed today.
That's right. All right. So you admitted that I have the better costume.
You have the better costume of the two of us.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear that I have the better costume. I'd ask you to hand me the mouse, but I know you can't do that.
Yes, I can probably scoot it over. You need something cut?
No, I think I'm okay. I've already ruined this table enough. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Happy Halloween. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
I am looking forward to a good show. All right. Let's see here. I forgot to bring up my chat. So let's get the chat loaded up here. I'm sure
Everyone's talking about our awesome sweet
go.
costumes right now.
I'm sure they are. Okay. Regan, I'm hard right now.
Wait, for who?
Wesley, boo. So I had a couple characters in mind for what I wanted to go with. I thought about going as Riker because he's one of my favorites. And interesting anecdote, I've actually been Riker for Halloween before.
Really?
I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I had the full jumpsuit, like a season 1 jumpsuit.
Oh, okay. Did you have the beard as a 9-year-old?
And so we painted in the beard. And so I've got some pictures of me in this really, really cheap red Starfleet jumpsuit. With painted black hair and black face paint for a beard. So yeah, I've been Riker before. I thought about going Data, but it would mean sacrificing the beard.
Yes.
It would mean completely shaving. And I thought about just like powdering around it, but I'm like, no. If you're gonna do it, do it. And I thought about doing the white streak.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could have
doing the older Data. So I thought about that. What I think I settled on is Thomas Riker. Is what I'm going to be.
Well, Thomas Riker, though, shaved the sides eventually.
He did. He had the goatee. So I thought about knocking the sides off, too. But I figured I'll be Thomas Riker before he went crazy on the USS Gandhi, joined the Maquis, and stole the Defiant.
Yes.
So
I think I did dress up. I think I was like 6 or 7. I did gymnastics. And there was a Halloween, and I dressed up as a Starfleet officer.
Nice.
For gymnastics. Nice. The whole onesie. In Starfleet uniforms.
Yep. So this is a season 3 uniform. It's the one with the gold trim on the neck, and it's actually a 2-piece uniform. So instead of being a full jumpsuit like season 1 was, there's a couple interesting anecdotes about this costume though. Number 1, the Riker maneuver is a real thing. So the arms aren't actually attached to the side. They actually flow down into the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just weird. So every time I lift my hand, my shirt hikes all the way up to here. So if you move your arm up past 90 degrees at all, you're now doing the full-on
tuck
Riker tuck maneuver. Number 2 is, as this is a fairly stretchy material, it leaves absolutely nothing to the imagination.
Yes.
I'm actually wearing 3 shirts under this as a faux muscle suit.
So they did need the muscle suit.
It needs the muscle suit. It totally does. I get it now. I am fully on board with the muscle suit. So I might be a little bit warm by the end of this episode.
I understand that.
How come Jeff didn't beam in? Totally considered it.
We were trying to come up with a way.
Yep, I thought about taking a picture of the sets and then cueing in a sound effect for a transition and having us just like kind of appear. I toyed with a number of different things. None of them really worked out live though. I could do it in post, but live is a little bit more challenging. The Riker girdle. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the show.
Hey, all right.
All right. So, Beer-wise,
Beer-wise,
we got some fancy brews up in here.
We do. You are actually supplying these brews today. They are 2 pumpkins and a special dead guy.
Yeah, a special dead guy ale from our friends over at Rogue Brewing.
You actually got this for free.
I did. The guys at Rogue, they reached out to me a number of months ago, and they said, "Hey, we love your show. We watch you every week. Can we send you some stuff?" Yeah, absolutely. So they sent me a hat and a couple of beers that I hadn't tried yet. Yeah. It's like, awesome. And whatnot. This showed up out of the blue at the beginning of the month. Just my name on it from Rogue Brewing. Happy Halloween.
Oh, I know. You showed me that. I think the day before, I was like, "Oh, guys, check out! I just bought this. Yeah. It was like $9-10."
Yeah.
And then the next day, Jeff
Rogue
posts to everyone,
sends me one.
"Hey, I get one for free." Like, F you, man.
So this is the Rogue. It's not even a seasonal. This is just a special 2018. Yeah. This is the Rogue Dead and Dead. It's Rogue Dead Guy Ale, which is their staple beer.
Yes, their staple. Actually, I think it's the double Dead Guy Ale.
Or is it no, this is just Dead Guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it was the double Dead. Anyway, Dead and Dead complements the flavor profile of our classic Dead Guy Ale with oak and vanilla notes from our whiskey barrels. This is aged inside their Dead Guy whiskey barrels that they also brew out there in Newport.
Yes.
So, very much so looking forward to trying that one. I've heard excellent things.
I have not had mine yet. I was thinking of doing my review probably this weekend of that one.
Nice.
So
nice. We've also got one from Oakshire Brewing down in Eugene. And it's the Big Blackjack. It's a chocolate porter, 7.8%. And this is an annual seasonal release that they do on that one. I've had, I think, the 2016.
Yeah, you've had quite a lot of it. I had a couple of kegs of it.
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the ones you...
it was on sale.
You want a keg? $25.
Yeah, it was. It ended up being like after Halloween, or mid-November. So pumpkin beers were out of season. So they're hey, if you want this, we'll sell you 2 full kegs, $50 a piece, which in beer for 15 gallons is cheap. So
really cheap.
Like, I'll take 2 kegs. I had pumpkin beer for a year.
Yeah. So, and then he pawned it off on all of us over the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So
everyone hated it.
Are we dropping frames? Did we just drop some frames? I got a notification that Twitch dropped some. Interesting. Have you ever had beers from Victory Brewing?
Victory Brewing.
Victory, where at? There's a number of victories. There's actually a Victory in Salem here.
There's a Victory Club.
Victory Club, that's right.
Yeah. I think I have... going on tap. But anyways, one last beer.
One last beer, and that's the Elysian Dark Knife. It's a pumpkin Schwartz beer.
Yes.
This one should be a little bit more malty, a little bit... I've heard mixed things about
that
this one.
That one I have had before.
Yeah.
So that is the lighter of the 2.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. Yeah, I want to say... Oh, yes. I've had a number of Golden Monkey, Hop Devil, Dirty Wolf.
Oh, yeah. I've had Hop Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
You end up running into all these brewers that are like, I've had that. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah. Do you want to start with the porter? I'm gonna start weird. Do you want to start with the porter?
If you want to, that's fine.
Because I feel like this one's not gonna sully our flavor at all for the other 2.
No, but I do feel that it...
Or should we start with the Elysian?
I would say start with the Elysian because then if you want to get the most out of your flavor, I know this has chocolate.
Right.
We both know we'll at least taste some chocolate in it.
Yeah.
You might want to experience this clean.
That's true. All right. Let's. And
then I'm betting the Rogue will be the best one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm betting. I figured we'd do that one last.
Yes.
Let it warm up. I'll get that whiskey in there.
I'll let you get the glasses.
I figured as much.
Don't think you want me.
That's why I got up.
Who has the better costume now?
And if you notice, as soon as I stood up, I did the Riker maneuver. It's a real thing.
Isn't it the Picard maneuver?
That's right. The Riker maneuver is over the back of the chair.
Yeah.
It's his sitting down. Yeah. The Picard maneuver
maneuver,
that's right.
It's the tuck because he was proper British.
That's right. Yeah. Proper British Navy.
Yes.
Yeah. With a French name. All right. Elysian.
Ooh, fancy. Currently right now I'm the only guest host in town. even in the state.
Right, that's right. Red is out of the country.
Yeah,
even.
Red is out of the country, and Steve is in Florida.
Might as well be. Yeah, they're both enjoying some much-needed time off.
I never get time off. Never from the show, never from...
Steve was on 2 weeks in a row, and he'll be on next week again.
I'm on next week.
Are you on next week?
I'm on next week.
Oh, that's right. He's still in Florida next week.
Yeah, he's going to be still in Florida.
Can't get much more even than that.
Nope. That's actually one of your best pours, Jeff.
You are one to talk, my friend, for bad pours.
At least they're even.
They are even. All right.
All right.
Cheers, my friend. I can definitely taste the Schwartz beer right up front.
Which is a dark lager, if no one knows what that is.
Yeah. It's got some kind of earthy flavors to it.
There's some roasty,
little roasty notes to it. Yeah. Not like a coffee roast. Just think sitting around a campfire. That kind of roast to it. Not bad.
It's not bad. That's just I didn't taste any pumpkin when I drank this.
There's no pumpkin in that.
I just really like.
It says there's pumpkin in there.
I don't taste any pumpkin. Usually, a lot of Elysian stuff, you'll taste some pumpkin. Mm-hmm. This was actually, I was pretty disappointed. This is their latest release, which was actually one of their very first pumpkin beers they used to release, and then they discontinued it and they re-brought it back up, which I don't know why. That was pointless. Also, you know what we didn't do?
I don't taste any pumpkin.
No, I don't. But we didn't ask what anyone else is drinking.
That's right. What are you guys drinking?
What are y'all drinking today?
What are you drinking tonight? Sorry, we got so excited about our own beers.
Yes.
And my freakishly awesome costume. Yours isn't. What show is yours from?
Oh, it's only a cult classic movie and TV series, but whatever, blood and guts and
all right,
good effects.
I might as well take command of this show. Let me grab another pip here.
Not an ensign.
That's for you.
Yeah.
Hold on, you can have my junior officer one.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got some beer news. Some pretty interesting beer news. Actually, Brewdogs has been making a pretty big leap in beer, just about everything, entrepreneurship. They went and started this beer hotel where you can stay, and it's a brewery.
Yep. They
actually have a really cool thing to where they are independently owned, and the way they make money is they sell their own stock to private investors. It's $50 right now, and you can own a piece of Brewdogs. Mm-hmm. The latest invention that they're doing is basically Brewdog Air.
Right. Well, besides their own TV network that they just launched.
I forgot that too.
Yeah. So they're hitting it really hard on and whether or not this is all for advertising,
I have no clue.
If it is, it's freaking working.
Yeah. I'm just seeing them everywhere now.
Yep.
Too bad we barely get any of their beers in the West Coast, but essentially what this is a airline that will serve you beer specifically designed by Brewdogs to serve you beer while you're on the flight. Their beer, all beer oriented. Mm-hmm. It's a very exclusive club. You can't have a ticket to this airplane or the destination without owning a percentage of the company.
Oh, really?
So you have to. So there's already an initial $50 charge to buy at least one stock, and then it's $1,500 for the ticket. But that also includes stay, hotel travels, and amenities, everything like that. So it's from Ohio to London and back. So it's a pretty long flight.
Right.
And while you're there, you basically get a bunch of beer.
That's right.
And they actually brewed a specific beer just for the airline, so you can only get it in the air.
Nice.
It's specifically designed for high altitude because they say your taste buds are different.
Oh, they're completely different.
Out there. So it is a hoppier...
That's why kettle chips taste okay in the air.
Yeah.
You ever land with those things? Never eat them on the ground.
So yeah, they even brewed a specific beer to have there. And so the only way you can even try that beer. Mm-hmm. So you can have the Mile High Club beer.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what they should have named this.
Totally.
Or they should name the beer.
Yep. The Brewdog Mile High?
Yeah, the Brewdog Mile High.
There you go.
Something like that.
All right, so we got a Staghorn by New Glarus, water / Bud Light, Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Drinking a Red Bull, might go for another. Drinking a Loxley, English mild.
Ooh, I like English milds.
Little Robin of Loxley.
With the one that can speak English?
Yeah, I speak it with an English accent. Unlike your other Robin Hoods. Sorry, didn't your mole... It's on the other side. I have a mole. Such a good movie. Oh, what else do we got? About to finish my bourbon barrel coffee porter. Ooh. Austral Calafate from Chile. Nothing yet. Was waiting for the host to start the drinking off. Nice.
We started.
Sipping on a delicious IPA from Stone right now. Actually, I had one of those last night. I had a Stone 22, their double.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
I've almost never had anything bad from Stone.
No, exactly. Let's see.
Pyramid Hef.
Good local hef. Killy, yeah, he's an Oregon guy.
Oh.
Yeah. He lives somewhere up in Portland, I think.
Oh, okay.
So. All right. We're men in tights. Tights. Okay. Let's see what else we got.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So, we're drinkers.
Yes.
We drink a lot. We're not excessive drinkers, but we do enjoy drinking.
Right.
On occasion, when we are having a good time, we're guys and friends, and we periodically challenge each other.
Oh, totally.
We drink a lot.
Yep.
Do you ever think we could ever drink like a whole bar dry?
Ooh.
Or how many people do you think it would take to drink a bar dry?
How many average people or how many of our friends? Because those are two very different benchmarks.
Okay, let's say our friends, because our friends are pretty heavy drinkers.
Yes.
So our friends, how many think? Just one bar. One bar.
Are we talking cocktails or are we talking beers on tap?
Let's just go beer on tap.
Okay.
Beer on tap. Standard pub has 6 taps, right?
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, 6 taps.
So we have to drink their reserves.
Right. So
in one night.
So they got 6 taps. You figure 12 kegs. If they've got one on tap, one in reserve.
Yeah, I would say that.
You're talking 15 gallons each. So that's 6. That's 12. 12 times 15. That's what, 170, 185, something like that.
A lot.
Gallons of beer.
Yeah.
Whew. Now, if it's your standard pub, you're talking your Bud Light, your Busch, your Miller,
which you can drink
Coors.
a lot of.
You can drink a lot of. You can drink it like lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh,
you could break the seal and still go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can keep going with that stuff. I'd say probably 175 gallons. You'd probably need 130 people.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And what do you think it would take to do a whole town?
Ooh.
A whole town. Drink it dry of beer.
Ooh. Well, if that's Germany, that's just Pete. He lives down the road. He's, you should see his tab, man.
Well, actually, some U.S. sailors and Marines did this to the capital of Iceland. Mm-hmm. It took 7,000 U.S. troops. Whoops. Oh, gosh. Left hand. Dang it.
It's this one.
Oh, okay. So it took...
Do I need to drive?
It took 7,000 U.S. troops, sailors, and Marines, and they dried out the capital of Iceland from all their beer.
Yeah.
There is some war games, the largest war games actually in a long time, are going on, and they had to do a pit stop in Iceland, and they basically just drank the town dry. I mean, pounded through them. There was even a brewery that had to special deliver to them, and they drank a brewery out.
Wow.
So
I've been to some of the breweries around here. We would be hard pressed.
Yes. So, now I don't know how much alcohol they keep on reserve, but it's a town.
Of course, the one that I regularly go to is Sandy Am, and if the Pirate Stout is on tap at 11.5%.
Yeah, and I'm betting most of this stuff.
I'm betting most of this is domestic style.
Domestic stuff, or their version of a domestic light beer.
Yeah, they're 3.5 to 4.5.
But still, that is impressive. Only 7,000 guys. And the really interesting thing was there was no reports of lewd behavior or crimes or anything like that. It was just, I want to drink, we're drinking, and we behaved ourselves. That's impressive.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, no, Yeah, I don't think I could drink that much.
No, I would be curious I would like to know how much they actually went through.
Like, if we go on the town and we're Ubering around, I hold my own with anyone. Mm-hmm. But, man.
Oh, I know. When we were at, what's it called? Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
That event.
When we went to PAX.
But that event we went to. I mean, it was a free open bar, and we all had really close to double digits in beverages.
And John did 100 push-ups.
I did it more than that. I don't remember.
John claims he did like 350 push-ups.
It was like 500.
He did like 68.
I did. Right
if that. One, two.
With the chainsaw.
All right. So that's going to do it for our beer news for the week. Yeah. Well, what I want to know is how much beer can Iceland possibly hold? Can the capital of Iceland possibly?
Yeah. Well, I was kind of curious of how much they usually keep on draft.
Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Iceland, right.
But again, they had a brewery back. Then they had to call up a brewery, and the brewery backed them up. Which a brewery usually has, obviously a couple of kegs in the fridge waiting for delivery, and they drink those too.
See, the population of Reykjavik, which is the capital of Iceland, I was correct. Ooh. I remembered. Is only 122,000 people, according to a 2016 census report.
So it's probably pretty accurate.
So 7,000 people. I could totally see them drawing that size of town.
Google map that. And then type in bar. See how many bars are in, I'm curious. All red. Oh,
there's quite a few.
There's enough.
There's a good list there.
Yeah, for 7,000 people to take that down. Yeah. Well, there's 1, 2, 3.
There's 20 in a downtown area.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's still impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's
well, you figure Salem's 125,000 people.
Yeah.
That's 7,000 people drinking the town of Salem dry.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Actually.
All at once. Yeah, I could see that.
Give or take.
Yeah, and a bunch of rowdy sailors that could probably hold their liquor.
Now, if you come to the town of Salem, there would not be 0 reported incidents of looting or lewd behavior.
No.
Yeah. I'd be standing on my porch with a shotgun.
And again,
I live 12 miles outside.
I do believe that they were probably all light beers.
Yeah.
5-6%. I bet 6% was like the largest they had. If they did that in Salem, 6% is like the session IPAs we have.
Yep.
It's like the low end. Like, oh, here's a 12% beer. That's it? That's the highest you got?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 16 in the back. Okay.
I feel so patriotic right now.
We beat Russia. I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see. Hold on.
I need a boom
Why don't
stick.
all of the hosts and Patreons go out to a bar for a night and make a Guinness book to try to attempt to drink them dry? So the hosts of Talking Heads take all the Patreons out to some bar, and we try to drink that bar dry.
Is that a record, though?
That's probably not a record.
I don't think it would be a record.
I guarantee that's not a record.
No.
I guarantee someone has drank more than I and all of my Patreons could possibly drink.
The only record I know is that...
not that you guys don't drink a lot.
No. That's why you watch
I've seen the pictures.
Bunch of asses all over the place. That's an inside joke. If you join Jeff's Patreon, you will get that. And it's only $1 a month to join Jeff's Patreon.
That's right. Nothing like a handful of ass to end the night.
Nice, cold, firm ass. Grip into my hands.
Thick.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
So, we've talked about right to repair on this channel a number of times. It is an issue that I'm deeply concerned about. I'm deeply passionate about as someone who really started making a living based on repairing items and even around my own house, repairing things that I was told are unrepairable. From modern TVs, oh, your LCD died, throw it out. Shit, it's a capacitor. Open the back and swap out the cap. Or, oh, this thing is dead and you need to spend $1,500 to replace it. Louis Rossman's latest piece on CCTV about, oh, sorry, your display is dead, and there was obviously some liquid damage to this, so we're going to replace your motherboard and your GPU and your LCD, and even after that's done, there's no guarantee that it will still work, so you might be looking at like $2,000. You can buy a new one for $1,150.
Yeah.
When they found out it was a $15 cable. That was wrong. There was a bent pin on a $15 cable. That was it.
Yep.
I
remember seeing that.
A number of times. So
wasn't it some kid that fixed it?
No, that was a follow-up video, or a different video that was right after that.
Oh, okay.
Louis Rossmann had a teenager on. He was a sophomore in high school, and his MacBook Air stopped working, and he had spilled some water on the MacBook Air, and it had corroded 2 of the pins. And so what was happening was every time he turned his laptop on, the screen would come on, and then the screen would go off. And if you closed the screen, you could use it with a display attached, but that was it. Well, what was happening was the Hall sensor, which is the magnetic sensor that knows if the lid is open or closed, those 2 pins were shorted out, and so it was sending 0 voltage to that controller. Well, if 0 voltage is sent, the computer thinks the lid's closed, it'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
So they replaced the cable, which had the corrosion on it, and working like new. Cost kid like $12. And Apple wanted $1,500.
Oh yeah, didn't he end up giving it to him for free too?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, it was like, this is not even worth my time.
Yeah. But yeah, so right to repair. It's a thing that we've lost in this country. We're just a throwaway society anymore. Oh, my phone broke. Just throw it away.
Just throw it away. Get
it's
a new
$30 for a screen.
Oh, I know.
No. This is an Apple screen. Yeah, I know. It's $30 for a screen.
No. It's Apple.
Yeah. So
they never break, and when it breaks the whole thing.
So anyway, part of right to repair is the software that's contained within modern devices. And I've talked about this as well. John Deere Tractor is a big name in the industry that we don't think of, or is a big industry name, I should say.
Yeah, it's a big industry.
It's a big industry name. Their tractors are all 100% software and GPS controlled. They're all controlled from GPS satellite tracking, and very, very proprietary software stacks on their tractors. They're basically fully automated anymore.
Yeah, they're giant RC cars.
Right, exactly. Or mechanical drones at this point. So the problem is when one of those tractors breaks down, you have to have a John Deere certified tech come out with his software package so he can figure out what module on the John Deere tractor broke and they can get it replaced. Well, we live in farming communities.
Oh, yeah.
Can you be down 4 days during harvest?
No, you can't even.
Can you be down an hour during harvest?
No, they cannot.
Right. John Deere has locked their firmware down so tightly, you cannot access it. You cannot see what is wrong with your tractor without some guy in a John Deere uniform with a laptop coming out and going, oh yeah, this sensor is dead, so we need to replace that so your tractor will work again. And that can be multiple days and multiple tens of thousands of dollars just to get the guy out there, let alone your potential loss. And John Deere has done Digital Millennium Copyright Act claims against people cracking their software in an attempt to repair their owned tractor.
Essentially, you're working on your own car and just like, I need to fix my car.
Totally.
I'm going to go buy one of those little...
OBD2 sensors.
Yeah, OBD2 sensors, and like, I just got to change this little bit. I found that out. It'd be...
the O2 sensor on cylinder 4 is down. I need to go swap that out. $17 later. Hey, look, the error code went away. Car's running again.
Instead of paying the guy the $30, which he's going to charge, or 30 minute, which he's going to probably charge you if it's a minute or an hour. And then the part plus the hour he's going to say it really takes him to put it in. So you're already looking at $250 right there.
So, like I said, John Deere has done some Digital Millennium Copyright Act claims against people repairing their own hardware, repairing their own tractors because, well, they broke encryption on our proprietary software stack, which is a violation of the DMCA, which means these people need to be put in prison or fined to the fullest extent of the law because we're the only ones who are allowed to work on our tractors that we sold them. That's John Deere's mentality. On the flip side, I'm a farmer. I bought a tractor. I need the damn thing to work. Yeah. I need it to work now. And I don't, I live 3 hours away from a John Deere certified guy, and he's got a list of repairs to do that are 3 weeks long. I can't be down 3 weeks.
I got a Joe Schmo mechanic who's lists of everything.
Or I got Joe Schmo mechanic who goes, oh yeah, that's just a servo. I can swap that out in an hour.
Yeah.
So Congress every I think it's 2 years right now, does a full review of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and they recently, I think last Thursday or Friday, put in place some addendums to the DMCA, and in it they actually put in a fair number of consumer protections that were not in place before, and the biggest of which is, quote, the acting register recommended a new exemption allowing for the circumvention of TPMs restricting access to firmware that controls smartphones and home appliances and home systems for the purpose of diagnosis, maintenance, and repair. So basically, if you have sold someone a piece of hardware that has an encrypted bit of software on it, and I, as the end user, need to repair that piece of equipment, or I, as a non-authorized service center, need to repair that piece of equipment, I am now, by law, able to break the encryption on that hardware and work on that software for the purposes of diagnosis, maintenance, or repair. That is 100% allowed by law now. And that is actually a huge step forward from what we've been in the past, which is, sorry, you can't break encryption.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the government wants backdoors and encryption on everything. Another argument entirely. So what this means is when your John Deere tractor dies, you can call the John Deere service center and you can schedule an appointment out 2 weeks and the guy can bring his laptop out and you can pay OEM costs. Or Joe Schmo can go, oh, I actually have this thing that will bypass that software and will do my own scan on what devices are not working, and I can go and get equivalent replacement parts for them and plug them in, and I'll charge you a third as much.
Yeah.
That is
done today.
That and I've got them in stock, and I'll be out there in an hour.
Yeah.
That is now 100% legal.
Yeah.
And not punishable by any form of the DMCA.
Yeah, the nice part it's phones, hardware.
Right.
They're even
phones, home appliances, cars.
Cell phones.
Basically anything with a proprietary software stack on it that is encrypted within the hardware.
Now, this is just software, though. This is still not hardware.
Technically, it's both. It's both.
Okay.
Because the DMCA applies to the software only.
Okay.
And so you're allowed to break encryption, that either hardware or software encryption, to access software and make modifications for the purpose of diagnosis, maintenance, or repair. Now, the reason I keep saying those three words, diagnosis, maintenance, and repair, is notice it does not say modification or enhanced features. Those you cannot break the encryption on the software for. So if I'm a non-authorized John Deere service provider, and I say, oh yeah, their software is great, but I have this package that I could flash on there for you that I modified myself, and it'll speed up your production time 15%, and it adds this new feature like documenting what we're actually doing during the day, and it's got some new stats that you can look at and stuff like that. That is adding a feature to the product that did not already exist. Yeah. Breaking encryption for that purpose is still illegal and still against the DMCA. And in some regards, it should be, because you are...
That's just jailbaiting.
It's jailbreaking. It's that kind of thing. Yeah. Now, jailbreaking your phone is legal. That's been deemed legal. But it's a little bit different ballgame there.
Yeah, it is. Well, your phones are different, but
right.
Car hardware and everything like that, and then you're getting into other physical items like that, appliances, vehicles.
Smart fridge.
There's safety issues. There are food grade issues. I mean, for all you know, the temperature control in your fridge or your navigation on your car, your brakes, everything's electronic now. Right. Those can get failed. It's not been thoroughly tested.
Correct. Getting FTA, Federal Transport Authority, approval for a new automobile, you would not believe the number of steps that are required for every single part. And still, with as many parts go bad, can you imagine if it was just a free-for-all?
Oh, I know. I mean, like, how many
as far as safety goes.
How many cars out there actually have all the same like chassis? You know, it's oh no, trust me, everything underneath the car, they're all the same. There's like 5 cars actually out there.
There's more than that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is super hard to get something like that approved.
Yeah.
And then every country also has their own regulations too.
Correct. Exactly. So, anyway, big win in that regard. There's another. Hold on. I'm not done with that yet.
Oh, okay.
There's another piece of the story. So, the DMCA applies to basically all software as far as copyright protection of software goes. There was another addendum made to this that is very, very interesting for fans of abandonware games, for fans of games or software or packages that you cannot access anymore. Now, were you a RuneScape fan back in the day?
I was not.
Okay. There's RuneScape. There's trying to think of some other services. Let's say you had Tribes. Let's say you played Tribes. And you signed into a server, and that server authenticated your copy of Tribes and said, yes, you paid $29.99 for Tribes. We'll let you on the server, but every time you launch the game, you have to authenticate with our server.
Yeah.
Okay? What happens when Tribes shuts their servers down?
You can no longer play it.
You can no longer play your game. Well, you legally own a license to run your copy of the game, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In the past, it has been illegal to reverse engineer the authentication method required to let your copy of the game run. Or to host a server and play with other people who also have legal copies of that game. So the DMCA added a new exception, which there were very few before for a couple museums and a couple other things. But they added an exception to the rules that just like breaking software encryption for the purpose of diagnosis, maintenance, repair is allowed for appliances and physical devices now, you can now reverse engineer DRM for the purpose of activating a piece of software for which the activation server is no longer accessible. So if a game company, let's say EA shuts down, let's say GTA 5. Let's say Rockstar shuts down support for GTA 5.
Yeah.
You can no longer log into GTA 5 servers. Your authentication is broken. And let's say 6 years down the road, I want to play GTA 5 again. Can't, because I can't log into the servers. However, I heard of a service that if I point my DNS to them, they will authenticate my copy of GTA 5 for me. That is now 100% legal.
Oh, very nice.
As long as the originating company is no longer running servers for authentication purposes.
Now, does the company running that service, do they have to get permission from the other?
No,
the original?
they do not.
So it's basically once the company stops
Right.
servicing it, it is a free-for-all. Yeah, whatever
Correct.
you want to do.
I want to play Star Wars: The Old Republic online.
Yeah.
I want to play Elder Scrolls online. I want to play Warcraft. World of Warcraft's going to end someday.
Oh, yeah.
To the chagrin of millions of players. As long as they keep paying money, they're not going to shut it down. But let's say World of Warcraft shuts down, and there's 1 million players who still want to play that game. Because Blizzard would no longer be supporting that title for people who legally purchased that game, we could spin up our own servers and play that game because we're legally allowed to. So that's a huge change to that law that and it goes beyond just activation. Let's say I have an old copy of a game. I own Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. That's a good one.
Okay.
Let's say I own a really old copy of that, and I have the install files backed up, but I lost my CD. And I can't find the CD anywhere, but I can still install it on my computer because I made a legally allowed backup. I know I own a copy of that game. I can legally break the DRM on that game so I can play it locally on my machine. Mm-hmm. Because that is, what was the term? In good faith. So in good faith, I purchased the game. I legally own the game. For some reason, I cannot launch this game any longer. Whether it's for loss of the original files or the company shut down or some extenuating circumstances,
yeah.
I am legally allowed to break my DRM on my personal copy. So pretty big news for consumer rights.
Yeah.
When this day and age we're kind of short on news like that. So
Craft Computing Pod Racers servers coming out soon?
I'm sure.
Jeff's own private stash.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
What were we thinking? We were thinking about doing a...
We were thinking about doing a pod racing league.
Was it?
Trying to get something started up.
Well, no, but we were thinking about doing our own server. What game? There was a game we were talking about on chat.
We were joking about Minecraft, but we talked about doing a couple others. I forget what.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. It was an older game, too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Tribes.
It's a Battlefield?
Well, it might have been Battlefield.
1942?
I think it was 1942. Yeah. Or it was either 1942 or 2148 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I think it was Battlefield.
Yeah. I think so.
That would have been fun. Maybe Half-Life.
All right. New GPUs.
Ooh.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah, I know. They're not really new.
Right. Well, this is kind of a new GPU. Now, we talked about...
got a new sweet case.
Yeah, we talked about... No, it's the same OEM cooler. Same cooler. So we talked about last week the RX 580 2048 SP launching, which is kind of a stripped down version of the RX 580. Really, it's an RX 570. And then nVidia launching a new GTX 1060 with GDDR5X memory and a couple other spec tweaks in there as well. For some reason, Twitch keeps dropping frames on me. I have no idea why. Only Twitch, though. I'm not getting any problems with YouTube, as far as I know. At least no one's complaining about it.
Maybe there's just a bunch of people.
So this really isn't a rebranded GPU. This is going to have a die shrink. We're going from a 14 nanometer process down to 12. So this is it's the same Polaris architecture as the RX 580, just a die shrink down to 14 nanometer. There are, I believe, more stream processors in here, and it is a fairly significant frequency boost as well, from about 1350 up to 1545.
Yeah.
So pretty significant on the frequency bump.
1545.
Now this is
of 200. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's about 205 megahertz bump to the frequency. Still 8 gigs of GDDR5. This is going to be the RX 590, and as far as we know, it's going to be launching on November 15th. This is going to place it kind of between the RX 580 and the GTX 1070. At this point in time, the RX 580 does perform better than the GTX 1066 gig. Just driver maturity and general support for the card in games. It does run slightly better in the majority of titles, and it's only a couple of percent. Mm. It's not... You trying to shave?
I had an itch.
So in the majority of the titles, the RX 580 is a little bit superior to the GTX 1060. This spec bump will not catch it up to the GTX 1070. So it's kind of be this weird middle ground. Yeah. And from what I hear, it's going to be $299.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad. I'm curious to see what the numbers actually look like when we get it into our hands. Does it overclock even higher because of that smaller FinFET design? Is it more power efficient than the RX 580? That'd be a huge bonus. Not that it's a really hungry card, but you know, Polaris is definitely more power hungry than Pascal. So is Polaris Plus going to be better power efficiency? Don't know.
So not a big leap in progression here, but for some reason they decided to spit it out for us.
Right. Even at the end of this beer, there's absolutely no pumpkin to it.
There's nothing.
I read a couple reviews, and some people said that. And they say really light pumpkin flavor. No, there's no pumpkin flavor. There's nothing here. It's a decent Schwartz beer.
Yeah, it's just that's really what they should have called
that roasty note is really good in it.
And maybe that's where they roasted the pumpkins and they're like, oh, that's where all the roasty note is. It's actually more roasted pumpkin. No, there's no pumpkin.
There's no. There's no sweetness. There's none of that rind. There's no aroma.
No, and that's the other thing too. There's no aroma. There's no sweetness. Like a good yammy sweet beer. You know, you want to do a sweet pumpkin. You don't want the carving pumpkins that you see all the time.
Right.
Those taste horrible.
Right.
You want the sweet pumpkins that are yams.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
Like that.
This has nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointing.
Let's see. Raul says, I have the Craft Computing Chinese X79 Xeon. You're going to want to stay tuned about the next 3 weeks or so. Getting aircraft video looks good to me. So yeah, we're all good there. They're talking about Shenzhen motherboards. I have a new Shenzhen Special X79 motherboard coming in that you're definitely going to want to watch. So
you do anything special with it? Or can you say?
Try not to give too much away.
Ooh.
It's a brand new motherboard, just got released about a month ago. I had to order it from
Wish?
No, not from Wish. I actually got it on eBay. I could have bought it on Ali, but the shipping was like 6 or 7 weeks out. eBay they guaranteed within 3.
Oh, okay.
And it was about $20 more on eBay.
Oh, it's the same thing. Trust me.
It's the same board.
It's the same order. It's the same company.
It's the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no. There were 7 different sellers on it. No, come on.
No, we all know who you are.
So yeah,
it's probably some guy that runs on another the Korean YouTube craft computing.
Yeah.
That's his job.
That's right. So yeah, my Korean counterparts. So I have a brand new video for all of my X79 fans coming up very shortly. So, that's all I'm going to say. Is RTX on? Possibly. Possibly RTX will be on for that one. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple people first. But yeah. And yeah, Raul, I know I need to hang my Ultima map still. I need to get it framed. That's my problem, is finding a good quality frame that I feel like I want to put that map in and then be able to display it.
See, the thing is, though, he could display it. Yeah, right there you could do it.
But I've got a 43-inch TV to go there.
Oh, okay.
So I need to do an office tour one of these days. I have literally this right here. That's the only... See this wall, and then about to my monitor right here, I've got 3 feet and then another 18 inches of wall space. That's it.
Yeah, there really isn't.
That is all my available wall space in this entire room. Because now what we're looking at is 16 feet of shelving, and I've got my guitars over here hanging up on the wall. I have a projector screen in front of a closet door over here. And then this back wall is all
liquor.
Is all windows and liquor.
The good stuff.
Yeah. Dartboard and the Ultima map. Sold. Those are my last 2 things. All right. What else do we have? So, by the way, this has been kind of a light news week, even though there's kind of a GPU release, even though it's kind of a rumored GPU release because it's not official yet. So we're going to be BSing for the last hour or so. So get your questions ready. All right, but we're going to start at 9 instead of 10 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your questions
ready. The last
ready.
2 times it's been like, oh, it's 9:45. We got 5 minutes of BS.
Right.
What's the one question you want answered?
40 minutes later, we're still BSing about not that question.
I know. It's Steve. Hey, what liquor can we drink right now?
That's right. Friggin' Steve. Last Thursday sucked. Just going to say it. Last Thursday, no bueno.
You mean Thursday morning?
Adam says, move the liquor cabinet. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so...
there will be a lot.
Speaking of RTX on versus off, that's... that meme has new meaning today. Apparently... there's some growing concerns out in the community of what seemed to be an overly high failure rate of RTX Founders Edition cards, specifically the 2080 Ti and the 2080. So not so much the add-in board partners. We're not seeing really any with them, at least any real documented cases.
There were very, very few. There was some.
There's a couple, and there's always a couple.
And there's always a couple, but yeah, they were... Everyone was founders.
Right.
Like 90% of them was all founders.
Right, and they've been popping up a lot on Reddit recently of, hey, I got a founders card on October 1st, and today's October 28th, and I'm getting artifacting like crazy. My computer's not booting.
I get black screen.
I got black screens. It's blue screening on me all the time. Nothing's working. You guys should have just dressed up in costume. You just look like normal geeks. I don't know what that means.
This isn't my normal outfit.
I wore this to work today.
This is my driver's license ID.
That's right. Do you have any ID? Yeah, hold on.
Here, hold this leg.
Yeah. RTX cards are kind of going off on their own.
So it kind of sucked to be that early adopter.
There's always attacks with early adopters, and there's always hardware failures with early adoption. There's always some undocumented thing that you have to struggle through. This one, and again, this is all unconfirmed. There's been no numbers, and I doubt we'll ever get numbers. But I wanted to touch on this because there's enough talk in the community that it's becoming a topic. I don't know if there's any smoke behind it, but you certainly smell a little bit of smoke.
Yeah, well, what I also found was interesting was that, at least in this one article, that they stated some of the users were stating that what really burned them is that they're asking for people to pay their own return shipping.
Yes.
And
no, those are for returns.
Oh, return.
That's if you said, you know what, I bought a 2080 Ti, it died, I want to return it. You have to pay return shipping, which to NVIDIA is like $60 because you got to insure a $1,300 graphics card.
And then there's probably a restocking
It's only $11.99. No, or $9.99. No, it's freaking $1,300.
Yeah.
Learn what an MSRP is, NVIDIA, first off. If you do have a card that dies in warranty, they are doing return shipping for you. It's concerning.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the thing that no one has been talking about yet is the only thing that we can test right now is rasterization. Is good old Direct 3D and OpenGL rasterization techniques, and the load that those put on the CUDA cores, the butt ton of CUDA cores that are on those chips. Here's the thing. There's also a crap ton of tensor cores on there, and there's also a crap ton of RT cores on there. We haven't even touched those yet. We know we're getting to power draw limits on the rasterization cores. And this is kind of leading me down the path of what's going to happen when RTX gets turned on. Are we going to be dealing with the same power draw limits, but now other cores within that processor are drawing power away from my CUDA cores, which is why we're lowering performance down? Which is why we're doing, when Steve and I went and saw the RTX demo at PAX, why my eye told me 40 to 45 FPS, and that was later confirmed by another guy who managed to get a number out of it. On a 1080p panel with a 2080 Ti with RTX enabled.
Yeah.
So it's like
improper hardware for this hardware.
Right. And a 7900X. Yeah. And 64 gigs
Check out that water.
Yeah. Oh no, the RTX effect wasn't enabled for the water.
Oh yeah.
It was just ambient. It was just ambient.
The mountains. And,
and global illumination was all that we got to look at. So, is that the NVIDIA's fault or the game developers? It's NVIDIA's fault.
Yeah.
This whole story is NVIDIA's fault. But again, what people aren't talking about is what's going to happen to game performance when those RT and tensor cores are turned on inside of games with DLSS coming and with RTX support coming. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Not only that, but cards are dying, and that's never a good thing.
No, especially these brand new, adopters and these new cards that are supposed to be revolutionary. That seem to be failing a little more so than your standard. But again, these are just rumors. These are a bunch of Redditors saying they're, my card died. Oh, yeah, my card died too. Oh, I think I had that happen too.
There are literally dozens of us.
Yeah.
As they do on Reddit.
Yes. And then someone picks up the article and it happens all the time. Well, what are the actual numbers? Well, I can't release that to you.
Yep. Battlefield 5's delayed because of RTX. So is Tomb Raider. They released Tomb Raider and said, oh yeah, a couple weeks later we're going to release the RTX patch for it. Nope, it hasn't happened yet.
Battlefield 5 got delayed? I thought that's coming out in like a month.
No, Battlefield 5. Tomb Raider is delayed.
Okay.
Metro Exodus isn't coming out till I think March now.
Jeez.
With RTX support. And if they have RTX at launch, I don't know that they will.
I don't need it right now. I don't have one.
The Twitch stream is complete trash. Yeah, it's weird because... oh,
wow.
Yeah, we're completely frozen on Twitch. YouTube is running just fine. Yeah. So I don't know if this is a Twitch issue or what. But typically when I have issues with my stream, I have issues with both. And I haven't changed any settings for Twitch, so I think...
And you were running perfect last week.
Yeah, this may be a Twitch issue. Let me check a couple settings here, make sure I'm... Oops.
And you just showed everyone you're right.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, the Twitch stream is crap. In fact, I'm probably gonna kill the Twitch stream. Sorry, Twitch.
All 5 watchers.
So I'm still funneling through my my VPN. I had my VPN enabled on here. So instead of pushing through a 30 meg pipe, I'm pushing through a 5 meg pipe, which is why YouTube is fine and Twitch is crap. Now I'm surprised YouTube isn't having problems too. So yeah, sorry Twitch. Sorry, you only had like 4 users on. So anyway, so take this report for what it is. We don't know if there's cards dying en masse, but there's enough that are dying that we've seen evidence of that it's worth at least mentioning.
Yes.
And that there might be a problem specifically with the founders cards of the 2080 and 2080 Ti.
And if you have one of those, keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out for it. Right. Now, these should have 1-year warranties or 2-year if you're in the EU.
Yeah.
So...
Register your card.
And everyone says YouTube is good for me. YouTube's good. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure why Twitch is the one that's dying, but YouTube is compressing hardcore, though. Yeah. And I had a prompt, or ID Promnut. I never have to read the Discord names out loud. I just have to talk to them online. And oh yeah, it's id. So please tell me it's the motherboard that supports this, and it's the E7 2890 V2, which there is no E7. There is an E5 because an E7 would be their 4800 series. But yes, that is a board that supports the. Or no, the 2890. I don't know. I know it'll support the 2690 V2 and the 2699 V2.
Oh, yeah.
So, what phone is that, Jeff? This is the Essential phone.
Did you do a review on that?
I didn't do a review, but I am very fond of it.
You've mentioned it multiple times.
Mentioned it multiple times. I love this phone. It is fantastic. Especially when they were available for, I think, $250.
Yeah, you're saying that.
I paid almost $400 for mine, and it was well worth every penny there. Twitch probably using F5 for load balancing.
Did it.
Yep. So YouTube always runs better. No, actually, my Twitch stream typically runs a lot better. So
it's usually YouTube that always has the problem.
Yep.
Audio issues, and give it 24 hours. Someone's gonna sit there and say, "There's audio out of sync."
Yep. I'm sure they will. God, freaking.
It's been 5 minutes since I posted it. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
There's always audio out of sync the first 5 minutes.
Yep. It's so frustrating because I'll test it beforehand and the audio is always in sync, and then we'll go live and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and I never change my streaming settings.
Yeah. Sometimes in the middle of it, it'll just...
I'm using the recommended encoder and the recommended bitrate for the settings that I'm streaming, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, who knows? All right. Games and entertainment news. We've got a couple entertainment news items to get to.
And we also have another beer to get to.
We do. That's right. Oakshire?
Oakshire.
So again, this is the Oakshire Big Black Jack. It is a 7.8% Imperial Chocolate Porter.
With pumpkin. You want me to pour this one, Jeff?
No. I'd rather not. I'm going to get some little card maneuver here.
We have just a little bit, so it is getting close to question time.
Yes. We've got 2 quick news items to get to here. There we go. By the way, these pants fit within like an inch of my life.
Would have been better if it was a one piece.
These are a 34-inch waist, and I'm a hard 34. So, all right.
Got to start drinking those session ales.
Ooh, see, this has some pumpkin in it.
Yeah.
That smells delicious. If you are a pumpkin spice latte, little pumpkin spice mocha fan, you are going to like this.
I'm blonde, but I'm not chick.
I see your Uggs.
They're comfortable.
I wish you would stop wearing the yoga pants.
They keep my feet warm and they keep my figure nice and tight. I like the yoga pants. They hug my hips really nice.
You have a nice ass.
I do. Oh, yeah. You can totally smell the difference.
Yeah.
I mean...
Instant. Yeah.
Instantly.
I opened the bottle and it hit my nose.
Yeah.
All right, and we got a $5 donation. When did that come through?
It was up on top. We were talking just at the end of the cards.
There we go. Do you think Zen 2 will hit 4.5? I guarantee Zen 2 will hit 4.5 because Zen Plus right now hits right around 4.3 as their rated overclock. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee when they drop from that 12 nanometer plus down to 7 nanometer, there's going to be some major frequency improvements. We might be talking equal or besting Intel for frequency improvements. Ooh. So I think 5 gigahertz or 4849 I think is probably what I would expect out of Zen 2. That's my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. So take that for what it is. All right. Oh yeah.
No, this you get pumpkin aroma, chocolate, and at the end, as it lingers and fades away, I start tasting pumpkin.
A little bit of that pumpkin pie, allspice kind of.
Yep. And it's really kind of, but there's a lot of roasty note, a lot of chocolate.
A lot of roast. A surprising amount of roast in there.
Yeah. Way better than the Elysian.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as a pumpkin beer goes. Again, the Elysian wasn't a bad beer, but as Steve and I talked about, I think it was last week, if you put something on your beer that says Dark Knife Pumpkin Schwarzbier, and I don't taste pumpkin, you're going down in my list because you're not accurately describing your beer.
I think all last week you guys just trashed me the whole entire time. I'm like, I only tuned in for a couple parts, and I'm like, every time was just like, and John sucks at this. I'm like, wow, guys.
I had the best line with the water blocks. Did you tune in for that one?
No.
So, here, I'll grab them. I'll do the joke again. Because it's worth it. So did you watch my water block review?
I watched your water block review, yeah.
Okay. So...
I thought they were cool.
Yeah. No, they're very cool water blocks. So EK has their Velocity water blocks out. And whatnot. And they're very good looking blocks. Yeah. There's one in black, and then there's one with copper and plexi. And so, really attractive blocks. I really like the copper one. John, I think you're going to like this one.
Why?
Because it has a nickel back.
Oh, you suck. You suck. Which is actually funny because, so Steve throws a Halloween party every year. Or past 2 years.
I saw your costume.
Yeah, and so, I didn't get to... my wife and I were going to do a different costume, and we couldn't find the necessary parts we needed. Mm-hmm. We thought we had it, so we were like, "Oh, don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll just put it together last minute, and we'll be fine." And I jumped into my closet. I couldn't find my white shirt, a trashy one. I was like, I know I have one with like some ripped up sleeves. They're old. I just had a nice one, so I was like, I'm not gonna ruin this. And my wife swore up and down she had this nice dress, and I looked at it, I was like, that's not gonna work. It's just the wrong type.
Yeah.
We went to Goodwill, couldn't find what we were looking for. We're like, screw it. We had to come up with other costumes. We were planning on coming up as I was going to wear like a suit or just a nice tie and a white shirt, mm-hmm. nice pants. She was going to wear a dress with some white pearl necklaces. Mm-hmm. And then we were going to put bullet holes all over us.
Yeah.
And we were going to dress up our son up as Batman.
Nice.
And so we were going to be Batman's dead parents.
That's epic.
And just like have our son and then lay on the floor next to him.
That's perfect.
So, but my costume didn't do that, so I had to think of something quick, and I had $5 in nickels, and I glued it to the back of my shirt.
By the way, I got like 7 likes for that Nickelback joke.
So yes, I went as Nickelback for Halloween.
I fell down the stairs with my guitar. I accidentally wrote a Nickelback song.
Yes. Everyone makes fun of the multi-million-dollar band. That tops the chart every time for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Oof.
I'm not saying I like them or anything. It's just like, okay, whatever. If I made their money...
I've heard your Spotify playlists.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, if I made that kind of money, I wouldn't care what music I played. I'd be like, you guys want to see my paycheck? I don't care. This crappy music makes 12 zeros appear at the back of my check.
That's right.
You would make that kind of music too.
Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted me to write the same song again? Okay.
I can do that. Oh, thanks for that check.
You like that voice, man? I had a cold, but okay. Well, we all just want...
Oh, you want more effect to make it easier for me to sing? Yeah. I can do that.
That's right.
Less words? I can do
that. Unfortunately, I could probably do the Chad Kroeger cover band.
Oh, yeah. It would just kill my throat.
Yeah.
It would.
So does Lonely Island.
I like Lonely Island.
I like Lonely Island.
I like Lonely. They 50% of the songs I like.
Yeah.
Not all of them are good, but a lot of them are.
Yeah. There's the Michael Bolton.
The Michael Bolton one was funny.
Epic. Obviously the Justin Timberlake ones.
Any one of the Justin Timberlake. I usually do. I like a Boss.
Like a Boss is pretty good.
Yeah.
Do the Creep.
The Creep's
do
good.
The Creep. Yep.
Jizzed in my pants.
And we're blue. Craft Computing is Nickelback No More, correct? I think Chad Kroeger is doing solo albums now, correct?
No, he's not.
No, he's not?
No, he's not. He's still doing
I could have swore I heard...
No,
I saw Chad Kroeger solo.
No, my wife would know.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, my wife.
I'm taking second-hand authority over
my,
or third-hand authority over my own.
I will. Yeah. No. He does though write a lot of people's songs. He actually makes more songs for other people than he does for himself.
Yeah. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow
of Tony Montana.
Close enough. Such a good.
It's a great song.
Yeah. All right, so we had some entertainment news. So Lucasfilm kind of dropped a bombshell this week because now I don't think this was a direct response to Solo kind of underperforming what maybe we expected. I think Solo did about what Disney wanted. No, I really think they did.
I think it did what they wanted from what ended up happening. From how many rewrites, how many director drops. Mm-hmm. You know, it was basically... we need a script because we put a deadline already on it. We already hired people. Right. We have to push something out. Right. This is the best we could do with the time we wanted. Mm-hmm. Was it the best thing they could have done? I don't think so.
Now, I really liked Solo. I did.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay, but not every Star Wars movie is going to be the greatest movie you've ever seen.
No, but okay, here's my opinion.
And I thought it told a competent story.
I thought it was all right.
We'll get into Solo in ones. I don't want to get too sidetracked here.
All right.
So Lucasfilm announced that they are canceling the Boba Fett story. They're canceling the Boba Fett origin story,
and which is kind of redundant because we already know Boba Fett's origin. But stupid. And then you have, what are you going to do? An anti-hero on a bounty hunter who's supposed to be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy? Mm-hmm. No, that sounds stupid. But I think early on there was even talks about if you're not on Discord.
No, this is just on chat.
No, this is chat.
This is YouTube chat.
But I think there was even talks about they were expecting the Solo movie to be a big hit, and then this would be something, and they would include possibly the reason why Solo and Boba Fett don't get along.
I don't think Disney was expecting Solo to be a huge hit. I don't think they do. And the reason I think that is the advertising machine wasn't behind it. They released it. It was a regular movie release.
See, I think that plays into the whole...
There were a couple TV spots for it. There was a Sunday Night Football trailer.
But I think that comes down to the whole, like, in middle of production, there were so many issues. They're like, we know this isn't going to be good.
Right.
And so they're like, we cannot put... if we do dump that much money into advertising, we will lose money. I'm betting initially, before all the issues, they were planning on it being a big hit. I mean, this is Marvel or Disney we're talking about. These are the people that are behind Marvel, which basically everything is a hit.
Right. And then DC, where everything is crap.
Yeah, exactly. And even what was the first? Rogue One? Fantastic movie. That blew everything out of the water.
Probably the best of the series. I put Rogue One probably number 1.
Over Empire?
Over Empire. I put it over Empire. I thought... Now, they both end dark. They both end very, very dark.
Because you know the ending, though.
You know the ending. But here's the thing. Empire was great because we'd never seen a movie where the bad guy just won. Just unilaterally won the episode. In a sequel or anything else like that. And so that was kind of a new thing. Where you go to the movies and you're expecting the good guy wins and he gets the girl and they ride off into the sunset. This ended with Luke in a medical ship getting a robotic hand and like the last of the rebel fleet flying
getting his
flying
soul
on the
crushed, finding out who his father was.
Right. It was a dark movie. Everything went wrong. Han gets betrayed. Yeah, Han gets killed and the original story was he was supposed to die in carbonite.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader's won, and Lando betrayed Han and betrayed all of his friends, and it's this huge, dark story. Rogue One just killed everyone.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You knew that going in. So to me, that's why I never had the expectations. I was like, okay, it was good storytelling. Mm-hmm. It was good acting. It was good effects. I did enjoy all of that.
Yep.
Because it still had that nice shiny look to it. Is it the Wesley comment?
Yeah.
It still had that nice shiny.
Wesley made Lieutenant Commander. Yay!
It had that nice shiny look to it, like the prequels did. Mm-hmm. You know, with this is modern effect, but it still had rugged technology, kind of the middle, the West. It was the wild, wild West. It wasn't in, downtown.
It wasn't in Coruscant.
Yeah, it wasn't metropolitan area politics.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of the second best of the series.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair point. We're splitting hairs between those two movies.
I think that they're both good. But so the chemistry or the idea, they had a formula there already, and they took that with Solo, and I think there were just too many issues, and so now they had to just make something work. Mm-hmm. And I think at the very initial point, they were hoping it would be as big as Rogue One. And then we have to dial that back. It's just going to be a regular movie. But the problem, I think, is that you can't have the iconic character of Han Solo. Probably the most popular character next to possibly Yoda.
It's up there arguably.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then be like, his origin story just be like, we just threw it out.
Yep.
That's where I think more people got disappointed in it, is they were expecting it to be a big...
Man wears a mean Star Trek shirt, talks about Star Wars.
Yeah. But kind of back to the article, though. Yeah, Boba Fett got canceled.
Yes.
The Boba Fett origin story got canceled. Mm-hmm. Also, I think, though, this is because they're coming out with a TV series, The Mandalorians.
Yeah.
There was another article I was going to post that there was a big security breach on the Mandalorian set, and a bunch of props that told a lot of leaks got stolen. And
I didn't catch that.
They are refusing to tell people what got stolen because it would leak too much information.
Wow.
So
interesting.
Yeah. But have you seen screenshots for the Mandalorian?
Yes, I have.
It looks pretty good.
It does.
For costume-wise, because that's all you really get. Looks pretty accurate to the Boba Fett style, the Mandalorian race, which is just a race of superior hunters and with heightened senses.
Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, yeah. I thought Solo was a good movie. It was a very competent movie. It was a very enjoyable movie. Is it going to live up to Rogue One? No. Is it going to live up to...
It's up there with Jedi.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
It's better than the prequels.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
Absolutely.
I really liked, but it was so bland and campy at times that it's just like, it's just like Jedi. I don't care.
That's true. It gets a little campy at times.
Yeah.
Although, what's his name? The main villain.
the guy who plays in Marvel Vision.
Yeah, and Knight's Tale plays Chaucer in Knight's Tale. He's fantastic in that movie.
He's actually a
chilling
I
villain.
hate though when your villains or sub characters are better than your main character, and they outshine them.
Yeah. People keep bringing up Solo was bad because of Episode 8. Solo had nothing to do with Episode 8.
No.
Nothing at all. And I'm sorry, Solo didn't lose money. Hollywood accounting made it look like it lost money. But I guarantee Solo did not lose money.
No, and every time they say it loses money, that is probably they're only talking about U.S. Then it goes into foreign, and they're like, oh, it made bank.
Yeah.
90% of the time when it goes into China and any Asian country, sci-fi movies kick butt over there.
Yep. So there's someone who keeps asking, is this a Czech channel? Yeah. And I'm talking about what I want to talk about.
Suck it.
So
you're saying sci-fi isn't tech?
Right. I'm wearing a Star Trek uniform. What do you want out of me?
And it's Halloween. Come on. What are we gonna talk?
And it's been a slow news week. And we spent the first hour and 15 minutes talking about
Are we going to really talk about haunted RAM and possessed motherboards?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I nerd out as much as the next guy, but there's only so much I can deliver on RX 590 talk.
Yeah.
So, and I spent more time than I should have on RX 590.
And honestly, Star Wars is a bit refreshing for us because usually we would already be into Star Trek.
I'm surprised it hasn't come up. Quite honestly. I'm really surprised it hasn't come up. So anyway, Boba Fett film, solo film, canceled.
Yes. TV series coming up instead.
Yep. Yeah, Mandalorian TV series. This one. Whew.
This one was interesting. So Netflix is picking up a lot of stuff recently.
They are.
Have you, as far as video games, we've all played old video games. You ever play old Castlevania?
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you watched... Castlevania came out. There was a couple of anime versions of it. But then Netflix picked it up and did a quick, short 8-episode series. And they just released Season 2, which is actually 16. Right. I watched the first season. I haven't watched the second. Did you get a chance to watch it, or have you checked it out?
I have not checked it out yet. I don't get to watch much show anymore. I occasionally get to watch some movies. When I'm working here in the office, if I'm writing, it's really difficult for me to watch something while I'm writing a review or something like that. So I don't do that. If I'm benchmarking, sure, I'll have something up in the background, but something that I've seen before. Yeah. Because otherwise I'm going to miss everything. So usually there's an episode of Star Trek or a Mythbusters or Futurama or something that I can just kind of have up for noise.
I know what the joke is, so I can look, and the rest of it I can blank out.
Right, exactly. Oh, this is a good part. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
There's Locutus. Oh, badass. All right, back to benchmarking.
There we go. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't get to watch much new content anymore, unfortunately.
But yeah, it's, to me, if you guys get a chance, or whoever has a chance, and like the Castlevania series, because they actually based this off of the second Castlevania 2. So it's actually the original Nintendo story, which back then they gave you a booklet of the whole story. Yeah. Which is really cool. They came out with, but now they're coming out with another classic video game, Animated Tale, which you and I personally really love this game. Actually, I think even Steve and Rhett, we've all argued which version is the best, is the Legend of Zelda animated series. Now, we're not talking the late 80s, early 90s Zelda.
Excuse me, princess.
But this is going to be a Netflix show. The same creators of this Castlevania, so it's probably going to have a bit more of that.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on that line. Did you watch that show when it was new?
I watched one episode. I think maybe when I was very, very little. I did watch the Mario Brothers.
The Mario Brothers. So in the late 80s, early 90s, there was on TV what they called the Super Mario Brothers Power Hour.
Yep.
And it had Mario Brothers and it had The Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Later on, when The Legend of Zelda turned into such a god-awful affair, they replaced The Legend of Zelda with MC Hammer's cartoon. Mm-hmm. So it was MC Hammer, Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Yeah. That was the Mario Brothers Power Hour.
I do have the...
And here's how bad the Zelda cartoon was. The MC Hammer cartoon was 10 times better.
Oh, yeah. I think they only have 8 episodes of the Zelda cartoon. Yeah. So I think this will be interesting because it's going to have a bit more of that anime feel, but they're going to do kind of a 3-shade, so it's going to be very textured, very nice, pretty looking. I don't remember exactly what story they're going to go off of, though. But if it's the same people that are doing the Castlevania, it's probably going to be one of our favorite classics, possibly the Mask one. What is that? The
Majora's Mask?
Majora's Mask. Yeah. I would love it to be that.
That had a lot of story with it.
Exactly.
There's a lot to explore within that universe.
Yes, exactly. So
that'd be interesting.
That would be pretty fun.
Not that there's not a lot of lore within the Zelda universe anyway, but Majora's Mask in particular has a lot of depth to that universe.
Well, what is really nice, too, is if it does become a success, they can start with, because you're young Link, and they can go through the mask stage, and then you keep going to Orca's time, the time travel part where you're older.
Right.
So they can...
Well, remember, this isn't just going to be Link trying to restore the Triforce. No. Maybe that's the ultimate goal, but this is going to be really narrative-based. It has to be.
It has to be. Well, I think it's going to be more of like every season is possibly one Triforce, or not even one Triforce, but the individual bosses at every individual land type of a thing, where you essentially had to go and do.
Well, take some of the older video game-inspired... shows. You take Sonic the Hedgehog, where Robotnik is just the constant antagonist to Sonic, and Sonic is either doing an adventure on the side and Robotnik's trying to thwart him, or Sonic is trying to defeat Robotnik and Robotnik gets away and sets a shop in some other town. Yeah. So there can be this back and forth, and it's the same thing with Ganondorf or whoever you want to be the
main villain,
Agnam or whatever you want to be the main villain to be. There's a lot you could do with this.
Yeah, no, I really hope they go more depth into like backstory of Link and Princess Zelda and what the connection between the two of them actually are. Yeah. A bit more backstory than just the 15-minute animated cartoon. Oh, Link, please save me.
Right.
And some fairy being like, it is your destiny to save the princess. Oh, okay, I guess I'll do that.
Yep.
So that should be pretty cool, pretty interesting. Should be very well done. If it is the same people. Although I will say Netflix is picking up like a buttload of shows recently.
Yeah.
And I'm betting half of them are probably going to be crap.
Let's see here.
Based on let me see. Maybe it did say this. Castlevania. Yeah, it did not say what tale it was going to say. But there was even talks of a while ago of this being a live. I think it was this, but them either doing a live action TV show or an animated one. I'm actually pretty glad they went with an animated. I think a live action would have been really bad. Netflix especially has been doing really bad adaptions of animated and video game things.
Right.
I think the latest one was like Death Note, and you probably didn't watch that, but I have, and it was horrible.
Okay.
Anyways.
So, Regan asked a question. He had a $2 donation a minute ago. Thank you so much, Regan.
Thank you.
And I missed a donation early on that was $2.50, and I forget who it was. I saw it go by, and I meant to mention it, and it completely blanked out of my mind. So, like 30 minutes into the show, someone did another $2.50 donation. Thank you so much for that. So anyway, Regan asked, what is our worst tech horror story?
Worst, like something bad happened?
Something bad happened in the world of technology, to you personally.
Oh, to me personally.
Machine died or problem that you've had to fix is how I interpreted the question. What's your worst horror story within technology?
Oh, my worst horror story was I was in the middle of developing a project. That one's actually pretty easy. And it was a weekend, late at night, and it was due the next day, and my power supply went out. Oof. And so I had to go and rip out the power supply in my wife's computer, but it wasn't big enough to do all my hard drives. So then I had to basically rip out another one, and all at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And the project was, I had to meet them at 8 in the morning. So it was more of just like, I don't know if I can get this done. Why this happened to me now?
Right.
Wasn't, a huge meltdown of I lost corruption and all the power. It was just basically me freaking out. Yep. Obviously, with your job,
I've got to come.
You are much higher than mine would ever be.
So we got hit with CryptoLocker once, twice actually.
I think you've told me this story.
So we got hit with CryptoLocker in my organization. One time it was a low-level office worker who got hit with it. And we have role-based security and permission sets within our organization. So he locked down basically our generic welcome to the company and here's your documents kind of thing. He locked down that file and it's like, okay, whatever, click, I'll just wipe it and restore, not a big deal. We had one of our higher ups get hit with CryptoLocker one day. And he had access to a lot. He was head of multiple departments. And I think of our 35 or so terabyte share, he encrypted something like 24 of it. Ooh. It hit hard. And so we immediately went into scramble mode. I have never done this before. I ripped the cables out of the back of our NAS. Sparks are flying in the server room. Yeah, it was bad. And immediately go into postmortem, contacting multiple forensic companies, antivirus companies getting involved, finding out what variant of CryptoLocker we had. Is there any data being sent out of our network? What are the late ramifications of this? What are the day-to-day operation ramifications of this? How do we get back up and running? Now, we get hit, or we have backups that run about every 6 hours. And we got hit literally about 30 minutes after a backup. So we actually didn't lose anything, which is amazing. But the amount of time that you have to spend... because everyone thinks, oh, you just need to get back up and running. No. There's checks and balances to make sure that no data got out, there's no data leaks, that there's no long-term ramifications to your network, to your security, to anything else, that no user information got transferred. That this is a weeks-long process to go through postmortem on an attack like this. All because someone clicked email. Clicked a link in an email to a PDF that said, hey, you owe us money for this invoice, random company, random person. Julia6493748
Oh, yeah.
You know, this looks legit.
Yeah.
Of course I'd like to enable scripts, Adobe.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Right. And there you go. So, yeah, we got hit in our organization really hard. That was a long 3 days getting my business back up and running.
Yeah.
That was insane. I've had a couple different components catch fire. I've had a GTX 1080 catch fire on me. Like flame catch fire.
Oh, really? That wasn't just a cool case build.
Wasn't just like a capacitor blowing. It was like the voltage regulator shooting flames about. It was crazy. I've had a power supply go up in flames on me.
Wow.
That shot flames through the fan as it was spinning.
Ooh.
That was a lot of fun.
Dusty?
It was a PC that I was working CNC for a wood shop at the time. My controller PC for that, we were going home for Thanksgiving weekend, and I went, you know what? And I talked to my boss and said, I want to take this PC home. We never get an opportunity to clean it out. It's dusty as heck. I'd love to do it. He goes, yeah, go for it, whatever. So I turned the machine off and took it home. I got it home. I powered it on. I'm just going through, making sure everything's still good with it and whatnot. Just doing regular hardware checks on it. And as I'm working on it, this flame, probably about 2 feet long, shoots through the fan, and the fan's like blowing the flame out of the computer. It's like this little jet engine trying to take off on me. It's like, oh crap. So I'm ripping the power cord out of the back of that, and I take the power cord out, and it's still on fire. So there's, and it was an old 2003 compact tower.
Oh yeah.
One of the Fry's specials, or Walmart specials that you get. So the top of this PC case is on fire in the middle of my living room. It's like, no, this is a rental.
No, your virus crypto or lock reminded me. One of our admins did a very similar thing. Luckily, they didn't get any of our data. They just put a bunch of viruses. They put a virus on our computers. It was just a crappy little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did the same thing. That was a fun day. I had to go and spend the whole day. Actually, it was like 2 days. Yep. Going to every single computer, running scan after scan after scan. Being like, all right, get off. I got to check this. But there was another one that I remembered. It was really funny. I think I even might have messaged you there. It was about a year ago during there was like a snowstorm and the power went out. Mm-hmm. And we had to run. I work for a pretty large company, like multi-million-dollar company. Mm-hmm. And we rely on, obviously, the internet and sales to go through. Well, this was I think 11 o'clock, not even that, 10 o'clock. Everyone got to work. Seems to be fine. It was a little snowy, hard to get there.
Yeah.
And hour into work, boom, power shuts off. And our generator kicks on, but our server's not hooked to our generator.
Oh, no.
And so we have no internet, no data for our database. So, anything I built, and it's like, okay, crap, what do we do? How do we make sales? So my editor, he's an older guy, like, get the phone book out and just, start flipping through phones and make sales. I don't care how you do it. I found, me and the other IT guy found one Ethernet port. One port in the whole building. And we work in like a 500-person, big office warehouse.
Big old cube farm with some executive offices.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
One Ethernet port that worked.
Mm-hmm.
So we hooked together as many just routers and splitters and everything we could all up a one port.
The network guy in me wants to crawl into the desk and cry.
But we got through it. I mean, there were just wires after wires. We spliced together everything. He had to go to Home Depot just to buy some IT wire stuff. He's like, they're the closest. And I got there. It took him an hour to get back. And they're only 5 minutes away. Oh, my gosh. It was so funny. It was a very fun day at work.
In undergrad, someone kicked the power strip of our Kerberos server. So their main authentication.
Oh my gosh.
And directory server. Where are the glasses at? Data doesn't wear glasses. So I'm kind of flying blind tonight. The glasses are actually right here. And actually I'm squinting and I'm having a hard time reading the screen tonight for the costume, honestly. So
He's that dedicated.
I am that dedicated to the look. And by the way, I nailed the look.
Yeah, you got it. It's a very nice look.
It's a very nice look. So.
Actually, the couple pieces I will say that look the worst are actually your badge and your pins. They're a little too shiny.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the badge is a little bit too shiny. It's a brushed or it's a polished finish instead of a brushed finish.
Exactly.
And this is meant to be a display piece. Now, unfortunately, all my badges are like that.
Yeah, and most of the ones that do get sold are that way.
They're meant to sit on your shelf and look pretty, or get attached to a backpack or something like that. So I've got my Future Imperfect badge, also from Riker, and I've got my DS9 and Voyager comm badge, as well as my Next Generation comm badge. But they're all polished surfaces instead of brushed. So the pips, I don't think they're too shiny. They're slightly the wrong shape.
Yes. What would have been better if they were magnetic.
Yes.
That would have been
they're the military pin backs, and I don't like that. They're not rubbing my neck yet, but I know long term they would, and they would start to.
They would. I think you'd almost need like the power for like earring magnets. Things. Something like that would be a lot better. It already seems that the back weight of the pin is pushing it down.
It is. And actually, because the pin is so long, it's pushing on my neck. They're touching my neck, and it's pushing the collar forward. Yeah, and whereas the ones that were screen used, they weren't magnetic. What they were they were push pins, but they were a pin array on a flat board. Yeah. So think of a board with like nails sticking through it. They would stick that on the backside through the collar, and then stick the pips onto the pins on the front. And so they were perfectly spaced, perfectly aligned, and then the back was flush to the actor's neck. This is the cheapest way to do it.
Yes.
So I'm not complaining too much. Next year, I'm going to build myself a screen-accurate costume.
Are you?
Probably the late series DS9 Star Trek Nemesis style. So the gray-blue jacket with the colored collar underneath it.
So is that your favorite uniform?
That is probably my favorite uniform.
I've always liked, I think the best uniform was the second version of Picard's captain's vest.
Oh yeah, where he had the leather shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked
the leather shoulders with the blue-gray tunic underneath it.
Yeah, the tunic underneath, and it was more of a jacket. It wasn't a vest. It wasn't just a huge V. It was a jacket.
Yeah.
I really liked that. That made him look more relaxed, more, I don't know, captain. It kind of reminded me of when Kirk turned to the green shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, I'm the captain. I can do whatever I want. I'm relaxed in my position now. I liked it a lot.
All right. So let's get into some questions here.
All right, we can get into open a new beer and questions.
Yeah, let's do it. I had to try.
I know. I'm sure we could.
Let's see. Where are you guys from? Easy one. We are from Oregon. Specifically Salem, Oregon. I'm from a little bit further south in the state. John, you were born right around here, weren't you?
Yeah, I was born about 15 miles up.
Yep. So, yeah, we're from Salem, Oregon, capital.
Oh, you're going to have to clean that.
Oh, no. No.
You need to finish this.
I do. This desk is going to become a workbench, and I'm going to get another one of these surfaces over here. So I don't really care about this, but right now on camera,
although it wouldn't be nice, and then you get it all, and then you clear coat it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, these are all my battle scars.
Oh, totally. And for a workbench, I don't mind having battle scars.
Yeah. And they're all just going to be like rings of beers and beverages.
So underneath the laptop, I actually do have like 2 or 3 different cup rings.
Oh, do you?
There's one up on the cover of the desk right there.
Oh, yeah.
You can totally see it.
I can see the bleed out, yeah.
There's another one right here. That one's permanent.
There's one there.
That one's permanent. This one's permanent. So, yeah, there's cup rings everywhere on this desk.
Well, at least you know where to place them when you're filming.
Right. Actually, that's the reason I use these coasters, is the coasters tell me where to put the glass down on film. And so the glass is visible. It's all visual. All right. So this is the Rogue Dead and Dead Guy Ale aged in Dead Guy whiskey barrels out of Rogue Brewing in Newport, Oregon. Rogue Ales and Spirits, rather.
Yes. So this is 100% all Rogue.
Yes.
The barrel aging, the barrels. I believe they even toast and roast their own, make their own barrels.
Yes, they do. They grow their own hops. Yeah.
So this is 100%. They, other than the grain, I'm assuming.
Yep. I know you like heads. So
I do. Especially from you, Jeff.
That's right. John gives the best head in Salem.
I do give the best head in Salem. You ask anyone in Salem.
People line up to get head from John.
They have lined up.
That's right.
I even do Black Friday sales.
Oh.
Ooh, that smells good. It smells smooth.
Oh, wow. There's a little bit of an apple smell to this. Like a sweet apple cider.
I can see that.
Not like a Granny Smith or anything like that.
No.
But like a good pressed, really smooth apple cider.
Fresh cider.
Yeah. Whew, yummy.
It has a malty caramel. It's really good. It's not as, I remember Dead Guy being very bitter. Do you?
Yes, I do too.
And this isn't bitter.
Yep.
So this is like...
Oh, and we missed a $10 donation. Hold on.
Oh.
I am off my game right now. There we go. Eric Del Toro, $10. My worst story, one I share often to upsell better power supplies, is when I did my first PC. I bought a 600-watt Thermaltake TR2 power supply. After upgrading the GPU, and 3 days later, continued below. I can't read it anymore because YouTube's being stupid. 3 days later, I'm assuming it blew because Thermaltake power supplies blow. John, are you wearing seatbelts across your chest because of your love for Volvo and their safety?
Yes. Yes, I am.
That's a $5 donation from Regal. From Regan.
He just sits there and does it like, all of my cars are Volvos.
That's right.
They are.
That's right.
He loves the fact that I have Volvos.
When you own 2, it's like, okay, you like Volvos. You own 3.
I own 3.
Yeah. So
he's
got a point.
My first car was a Volvo. Actually, my first car when when I first got a license, my mom insisted I get a Volvo because she remembers commercials of Volvos being the safest, of where a Volvo was driven off a cliff and then it drove away afterwards.
Right.
That's how safe Volvos are. And I hated the concept of having a Volvo because it was like a 95 Volvo wagon.
Yep.
I ended up after I drove that thing for a year, I loved that car.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of I can sit, have 5 people and still have room for all my drum equipment, music equipment, whatever. I went camping in that thing all the time. It was actually one of the best teenage cars I've ever had.
Yeah.
It came with a turbocharged too. I mean, so I was able to get up and go. Yeah. Leather seating, decent stereo. It didn't have the sunroof package. I So air conditioning never worked in that thing, but what do you expect? It was a piece of crap in late 2000s, early 2000s.
Yep.
So, but ever since then, I did fall in love with Volvos. I've only, I especially really enjoyed the later 2000 models, and so does my wife, and so that's why we have a bunch of Volvos.
3 of them. Yeah.
3 of them.
I wound up being a Nissan fanboy myself. I've owned 3 Nissans, 2 Nissans currently. And in fact, my wife is interested in trading in her Mazda for a Nissan Pathfinder.
Oh, yeah.
So we may end up being a Nissan fanboy household. I have a 2013 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X 6-speed manual. Kind of a rare truck.
Yes.
With that configuration. So I've got the locking rear diff and a 6-speed manual. Heck yeah. With the 4-liter V6. Killer truck. I love it. And then I've got my 350Z. So.
Oh, yeah. No, Regan, you're right, though. Jeremy Clarkson, that episode of Top Gear was basically just like how my high school days were.
Which one?
Regan, right there, yeah. They were doing the best high school kid car that your parents could buy your kid, and Jeremy Clarkson got a Volvo wagon, which was a couple years younger than mine. But he made the backseat into a waterbed, and he had the
episode, okay.
anarchy flag. And,
I'm totally on board.
Yeah,
I got you.
I did turn the backseat of my Volvo into a bed.
What is your favorite episode of Top Gear?
Ooh, that's too hard.
I know there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones.
I can name my wife's favorite episode, which I got her hooked on, and it has very fun memories for me watching her laugh at it.
Okay.
Which is the Reliant Robin, when he keeps falling over.
Keeps rolling it over. That's a good one.
I love Top Gear. I've watched that series over and over and multiple times.
Yep.
I think
what are some of your favorites?
Almost any of the long journey ones.
Yes.
The African one where
Africa was amazing.
Africa was amazing. What I really love is a lot of those jokes. It actually is they are genuinely like, no, we get along, we do. But these jokes, it's like 3 high school frat boys, going after each other. It's not like rehearsed jokes. No,
right.
They do banter each other.
We totally need to do that.
Oh, that would be
craft
fun.
Computing road trip.
Oh, that would be fun.
We roasted you half the way up there.
I know.
Well,
half of that episode never even, or almost all that stuff hasn't even gotten done.
It hasn't. I've been so busy here this month. Professionally and personally here on my channel. It's been a long month and really a challenge to get videos up. I still love doing videos and I'm trying to put all of my energy into the videos when I'm home, but I still have a wife and kids and commitments.
I know. And
a house to keep up.
I don't even have a channel to do stuff, and I'm finding it even more difficult now because my wife has been decorating for fall. She's starting her own business now. Mm-hmm. So she took up half of my garage. And then now, even today, starting today, we have Christmas stuff up.
Yep.
So October.
Your wife's kind of crazy for holiday decorations.
She is crazy for.
I love her for that, by the way.
We have,
that is not a
we have like
in any
5
regard.
trees in our house. She does a fantastic job, but I had to expand our attic twice to accommodate for all of our Christmas decorations. So it's insane to me. She does a great job, but it's insane.
Skull. I'm going to get back to my favorite Top Gear episode here in a second. Skull. Jeff and John 2080 Ti add-in board partner card is now available for $700. No, it's now available for $999, and it's the EVGA 2080 Ti XC, I think they're calling it. The 2080, I think, is available for $700. Or no, $799 is what that one was. They're still the fastest cards you can buy. Make no bones about it. The 2080 and the 20 Ti are the 2 fastest cards you can buy today. Period. Bar none for gaming. Are they a good value? That's a better question. In my opinion, no. But when you're talking about the best of the best of the best, is a Porsche 911 a great value? No, but it's one of the fastest production cars you can buy.
Do you need a Bugatti? No.
Right.
But I can't afford it. What, can I get a Nissan GTI or GTR?
Right.
Whatever. Yeah, for 20 times the price, and it's going to do
right.
so many of the things that I need it to do.
Right. Even my dream car, which is a fairly budget dream car, in the Ferrari F430.
Oh yeah.
Is that a good value? No, it is not. But it's one of the fastest consumer cars around that I can afford. That you can, So
yeah.
If you're looking for speed, they're the best cards around. And there's no other options at that range. What are you going to do? Buy a Titan V instead? It's like there's so much. Am I making the right choice? Should I buy a 2080 Ti? That's up to you to decide. If you want the best of the best, yes, because that's literally your only option. Well, I have $700. Well, then it's a 2080. Okay, well, what about a used 1080 Ti? Well, you're talking about something different now because that's $550. So $550 versus $1,100. Make that decision yourself.
And it's what, only 15?
And I don't mean to sound discouraging or disparaging on that. It's just there's no other options out there.
Isn't it only like a 15% boost too?
It's bigger than that. It's about 30%.
30%?
It's 15 at the lowest and 35 at the high.
Okay.
So yeah, they're expensive, but it's up to you to determine if the value is there. I'm just a talking head. I can tell you what the numbers are, and I can do a price per dollar
Talking head.
or a performance per dollar. Yeah, I'm just a talking head, but so I can tell you a performance per dollar and what I think. But really, when you get into that level, it's do you want to spend that much money on a graphics card?
Yeah,
I have a hard time doing that.
No,
I love this stuff.
I couldn't find myself doing that. I would find I'm one of those guys that find how much can I stretch my money for and still get what I want to do.
Yeah.
I would sit there and see the $300 savings and be like, I can buy $200 in a very nice monitor that's going to play and visually see what my 1080 Ti and $100 in booze.
Yep.
Honestly, it'd probably be more the other way. $200.
Yeah, $200 in booze, $100 on a graphics card. Yeah. I know you better than that, John.
Hey, I do want to upgrade a particular thing and throw some money at it.
2080, not the Ti, just auto typed out of bad habit, and that's what I assumed. $700 for a 2080. It performs about the same as a 2080 or as a 1080 Ti.
For $250 more.
It's flip a coin. No, the 2080 versus the 1080 Ti, it's almost dollar for dollar the same card.
Is it?
They're about $700. $729 for a 1080 Ti.
Used for $550.
Yeah, you can get a used one for $5 or $550 is about what they're going for right now. And for a brand new one, you're looking about $700 to $750. For a brand new RTX 2080, you're looking $700 to $800 to $850. It's a slightly newer card. Who knows? I doubt, unless there's like some rampant failure of 2080s, which I have no evidence of that yet. Like I said, that's not even a smoking gun.
Yeah,
there's not even
a Reddit hearsay.
Right. I can't comment on that. But honestly, you're getting newer technology and you're getting access to tensor cores and possible DLSS, which is going to bring 4K and 8K gaming into the mainstream. As long as the game has a profile for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait for enough of those to come out.
Right. So, that's a hard proposition.
To me, for anything, almost any type of those, I always wait for second gen, possibly third gen to come out. Because you have to have the software to follow up with it, unless it's already there, which most of the time it's not.
Someone said just turbo my 350Z instead of buying an F430. Yeah, but the whole point is driving an F430. The F430 is a much better handling car than the 350Z is. I had a Toyota MR2 Spider. I had a 2003 MR2 Spider before that, and that was a great handling car.
Fishtails.
What's that?
Those things fishtail.
No, they don't. That one didn't.
The MR2? What year?
03.
Oh.
It was a later model.
Okay.
So I had that. That's a way better handling car than almost anything that's out on the road. It hugs every corner, and it's so low to the ground. 350Z is crap compared to that, but I like 350Z better. So it's, and I don't think I would turbo my 350Z. I might supercharge my 350Z. I think that'd be fun to do. And there's some supercharge packages you can buy. Let's see. I drive a V10 Benz. Nice. 12 miles the gallon and 320 horsepower.
Hey, it takes them only a minute to get up to 60.
That's right. Now, is this an old...
Is it an old Benz?
Now, I've seen the old 80s Jags available. You can get like a V12 Jag for about $4,000.
Oh, yeah. I love it how it's V12 and the maximum is like 110 miles an hour.
Well, and it's a 4.6 liter V12. Yeah.
All those, all the amenities. You know what I really love? I really miss the old switches in old cars. I always felt switches in older cars felt more quality.
Actually, the Hennessy Venom F5 is the fastest production car in the world, 301 miles an hour. Yeah, I know it's the fastest. I was talking more accessible. Bugatti Veyron's highest horsepower, but it loses out on the top speed record.
No, didn't
on a controlled track by like 13 miles.
No, the Veyron got beat out, and then Bugatti released another one.
Yeah,
it's like almost every 6 months a new one comes out.
The Bugatti Chiron.
I was going to say Celeron, but Chiron.
Celeron.
Oh, yeah, you know, I was thinking computer.
Yep. Chiron was first shown at Geneva Motor Show on March 1st, 2016.
And they're coming out with an SUV Bugatti.
Yes. Saw that.
So, you were going to say what was your very favorite...
episode of Top Gear. Regan, another $2. Could be a V12. That is missing 2 cylinders. Totally could be.
I used to drive a Datsun little tiny pickup truck, those things. And it was probably a 4-cylinder. And I think I drove it all the way down to a single cylinder.
Yeah.
To where I had to go down an on-ramp just to get it to like 40.
Yeah.
And it was, I would floor that thing. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't go anywhere. Probably 2 cylinders now, honestly. But there were cylinders broken in it.
So anyway, my favorite, I think, single episode of Top Gear was the cheap Porsche challenge.
That was an early episode.
It was an early episode. It was like a season 3, season 4, something like that. So the challenge was take 1,500 quid and go buy a Porsche.
A Porsche, yep.
And that was the only guidance given to them. And so they all came back with Porsches. It was then spend your money fixing or do a baseline ride.
It was. And then the money you had left over,
right?
So you can fix it.
So Hammond had like $800, so he did like custom embroidered seats, and he did all this other stuff. Clarkson spent all 1,500 quid on the Porsche,
on the car,
and that's
right away. Yeah.
And it ran like crap, and he lost like every single challenge. And then Captain Slow was somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
So then it was through these series of challenges, drive from point A to point B. And so it was like this adventure show also. They were visiting some famous sites, a couple of famous racetracks, and trying to race on these tracks and all failing at it. It ended up with, okay, now sell your Porsche.
Yeah.
And for every dollar above $1,500 you made, or for every...
Yeah. Every extra dollar that you got extra points.
You get an extra point. Well, so Hammond sold his and like broke even. Captain Slow, I think, lost 500 quid in his sale. Clarkson, his Porsche broke down and he couldn't finish the challenges because he blew out. He like cracked.
I think
he blew a gasket and like destroyed his cylinder walls or something like that. He ended up ripping the engine out of the car and selling the car and the transmission as a glass top table set.
Yes, yeah, he like parted it out.
And then he sold the seats to someone else, and then he sold it for like 3,800 quid.
Yeah, and he ended up winning.
The competition. That is one of my favorites because the ingenuity on different things and the different approaches to the contest. That was just a fun all-around episode of 3 guys just blowing $1,500 on some random crap cars and having fun with it.
Yeah, no, most of the episodes of them, buy 3 cars with a budget or buy 3 cars for this purposes. Those are always great.
There was the buy a supercar. That was also fun. So they're showing up with like mid-engine V10s that they picked up for like 80s. $4,000. Yeah. So that one was a lot of fun. The Africa special was great. My favorite, it wasn't a full episode, but my favorite segment is the Toyota Destructilux.
Oh, you know that, yeah.
The indestructible Toyota Hilux.
Where it was basically the only thing they could do to fix this car was a standard mechanic's tool chest. Yeah. That's all you have. You don't have parts.
They had screwdriver, spanners, WD-40, that was it.
Yeah. You don't have extra parts. You just have, if there's a part broken, if you can't fix it with what's in this toolbox, you're screwed.
Yep.
I would say some of essentially that's what I do. Like you were saying, when you're watching stuff and you're working, you have something on the right-hand side.
Yes.
A couple of my shows, I watch Star Trek probably about every 2 years because I got to go through shows and it takes so long. And Star Trek, Next Gen, DS9, most of Voyager. I skip a lot of Voyager. Yeah. And Top Gear, Futurama, Rick and Morty now.
Yeah.
Those are...
Rick and Morty's probably on once a day. There's an entire subreddit devoted to falling asleep to Futurama.
Oh, yeah.
And Rick and Morty has surpassed Futurama in our house. Yeah. We have the TV on when we're going to sleep, and we set a sleep timer, and we'll just kind of doze off watching shows.
That's how I love falling asleep, and my wife hates it.
And it used to be Futurama. Anymore, it's Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah.
It's hit random on Rick and Morty and set a sleep timer for 45 minutes.
No, I used to... there's a couple of channels that I watch, and it's Adult Swim. Oh, like I'll watch Adult Swim, and it's usually pretty late, but... There's a couple of online places that stream old Adult Swim stuff. Rick and Morty, Futurama, Space Ghost.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of those, and it'll be on 24/7. I'll just pop that on.
Yeah.
And I find myself late at night having a beer, South Park. I fall asleep to one of those. Something I've already seen. It's not something I haven't seen before. It's always something I've already seen. I get relaxed.
Yep. Eric Del Toro, the issue with V12 Jags is that the electronics were crap and the rubber and the suspension bushings rotted out very quickly, so you'd have to completely go through it to make it good. And yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, a Chevy 350 makes more power than a Jag V12.
Did you see? Now, have you ever watched the new Grand Tours? The Amazon Top Gear.
I actually haven't. I've seen the first couple episodes.
First season.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a couple episodes in the first season that are really good.
Yeah.
Second season though, they do a whole old Jag episode.
Oh, nice.
And they all get
like some old E30.
Yes.
Kind of thing?
Oh. And they take them up into a ski lodge mountain, and they had like one of the best scenes is they have to ski Jags down a mountain, and it's so hilarious.
Okay. So this is funny. So 2 of my Patreons just commented on YouTube. So Eric Del Toro, $5 donation, longtime patron. I'd love to see Craft Computing series of building the best budget computer from used parts you can find locally and the pros and cons of it.
We've talked about that.
And then Skull, insert Salem market is awful comment. So I live quite a bit out. I live near Salem, I'll say.
Yeah.
And the Salem market is beyond crap.
Oh, it's horrible.
There is not a single modern part for sale in Salem. There's a couple used parts, and when I say used parts, they're like 7-year-old used parts.
We when you first started the show, like a year half ago or whatever, we did talk about this as being one of the first episodes or earlier episodes.
We talked about doing basically scrapyard wars between me and John.
Yeah. And one of the places we talked about is an hour and a half away. That's how far away good used parts are that we know of. Everything else is old Intel Celerons
right.
and crap like that, you know.
Yeah, it's pre-built machines. There's no custom parts.
No.
Which is really weird because there's actually some bigger names that no one knows about, but they're bigger names in the industry.
Yeah.
There's a huge modding community in Salem and outside Salem, even south of Salem. Envious Case Mods and Darth Beavis both live in Turner.
Yeah. No,
like 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
They're that close. Modders Inc. lives in South Salem. There's a number of large industry players, reviewers, modders, etc. that like the creme de la creme of the building community, enthusiast community live down there. But they are so few and far between here, and there's so few people here.
Yeah.
Remember, this whole area is only 150,000 people for like the global larger Salem metropolitan area. It's a stupid word for this town. It's just weird. It's not unless I drive about 40 minutes north that I encounter large cities with decent used parts, decent markets.
And the problem is, if we drive north, the price goes up 30-40%.
Yeah,
of what the used market actually really should be.
I have found parts in Salem, and I've picked some up in the greater Salem area. The problem is I'm still driving 30 minutes for those parts because our area is so spread out. I mean, I live 8 miles from Salem. I live 12 miles from downtown.
Now, I guess if we did a budget, our build competition or budget build, and we factored in price per hour and gas, and then threw that in there.
Yeah.
You know,
but even then, you're not even guaranteed to find parts to build a machine.
No, you're not.
I've been on the Salem Craigslist and the Salem Facebook seller pages and everything else. There's been a point in time recently within the last 12 months that the best graphics card was a 9800 GTX, which is an 11-year-old card.
Yeah.
That's how bad the market is here. Like, I found a 1060. I had to drive an hour to get my used 1060. I did manage to find my RX 580 in the local Salem Craigslist.
Yeah, they're...
And I found a couple odd parts here and there. This Samsung 27-inch 1080p curved monitor behind me. I found that for $40 on the Salem Craigslist. And there's a couple other things around here that I found. They are so few and far between.
$40?
Yeah, by the way.
What?
Yeah, $40.
Okay, that guy ripped it off.
Probably did. I don't care.
And that's the other thing too. Half the market is okay. I know that's
it's five-finger discount
deal.
stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. So
yeah,
it's not
honestly eBay is my better option here.
Yeah,
and that's kind of sad. Now there's some good deals to be had on eBay, but
but then that's not the local budget build that we're thinking of trying to. That's not the scrap wars.
Exactly.
It's not what people want to see. It's just you want on eBay. Well, that's not entertaining.
I'll pay for gas. The PC doesn't have to be good, Regan.
Who's paying for the beer?
Yeah, who's paying for the beer? That's what I want to know. The beer afterwards. So yeah, we've thought about that concept. I would love to do that for a show. What might be fun is to go somewhere else and build a PC.
Like travel somewhere?
Like fly to Vegas and build a PC.
You know, it'd be fun if we could fly to Vegas and you do like $160 build, and I gamble $160.
And see who comes out on top.
See who comes out on top.
I think we have a new video.
160 on slots or $160 on a computer. Who comes out on top?
That's an interesting concept. I like that.
No matter what, I'm going to win because I'm like, I get free drinks.
Yep. eBay has a local section. Again, the local market sucks.
It sucks here.
The reason our local market sucks is because no one has the parts to sell. No one has them. Occasionally I'll get something, but it is so few and far between, I can't rely on it as a source to get stuff. I search it. I search it almost every day. I'm on Craigslist.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just browse the list because there's only about 15 new posts per day in the computing section.
Yeah,
It's not like Portland where I have to search every 30 minutes to find the deals and spring on them and drive up there as soon as they're posted.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is all the deals that where we particularly live, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours to drive. I'm gonna get that, $75 off that card. $100 off that card.
My first VR heads. I backed the Oculus DK1 on Kickstarter, and so I got a Kickstarter bundle for that. When the DK2 came out, I didn't have the funds. I didn't back their Kickstarter for that. But I did find a DK2 on Craigslist in the Dalles. Oh I drove from here to the Dalles to get an Oculus DK2.
See, usually, and even with those, I'm like, hey, can you meet me halfway?
Yeah.
And if not, I'm like, it's not even worth it because I don't want to take the hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like an hour to get there. I think you got to drive the hour back too. And it's just, and you got to find that 2 hours of time.
Yep. So yeah, I would love to do those kind of videos, those kind of bargain basement videos, odd parts to put together. I kind of try to fill that niche on my channel with doing some of the Chinese import stuff because that's a market that's worldwide.
Yeah.
It's not a unique market to me. That's something that anyone can grasp and is accessible.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they don't have like a big case, motherboard, RAM, and it's just so untestable, unreliable that it would be pointless for the two of us. Plus, we would order it, or whoever, if all four of us did one, it'd be like 7 weeks to get the parts in.
Yeah. It sometimes would.
And it's going to cost us $160 and then wait 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's pointless to do that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, even Linus sat there and did a couple of videos of like, yeah, we had to wait months to get parts.
Right. Yeah, for his Chinese water cooling stuff.
Yeah.
Which I did like 3 weeks earlier. So, yeah. Any other thoughts before we close here? Any other thoughts at all?
Did anyone do anything for Halloween?
Yeah.
Other than watch us?
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you're most of you are not in our time zone. So.
I went trick-or-treating with my daughters. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. So one of my daughters dressed up as a princess for the 4th year in a row. Shocking. Shocking. Yeah, she is such a have to be pretty, have to be proper.
Princess.
I'm a princess, that kind of girl. So the very first year, she went as Bubble Puppy from Bubble Guppies. That was her thing. You know, no. She was Bubble Puppy. We made her a hat and some other things. From then, she has been Sophia, Rapunzel.
Sophia the First?
Sophia the First.
I know that.
Yeah, Sophia the First. That was 2 years ago. Last year, she was Rapunzel. And she had a Pascal chameleon on the arm and had a wig and everything else. So she knocked that one out of the park. The year before that, she was... What did she start as?
You said Bubbles, or...
No, she was Bubble Guppy. She was Bubble Puppy.
This year?
No, like her first birthday. She was Bubble Puppy. Her second year, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Third was Sophia. Fourth was Rapunzel. Fifth was my wife made her a Renaissance fair costume.
Oh, okay, so like more periodical.
Yeah, exactly. Renaissance-esque princess, and she's got a tiara and she's got a medallion and some other things. So, but she's a princess, is what she is. So, I'm trying to remember what she was for her second Halloween, because she was a princess then too. It was another Disney princess.
We had a costume contest at my work, and which my boss dished out a bunch of cash for this, which was like fantastic. But he doesn't pay up for higher paid employees. But there was this one. I loved it just because it spoke to me. It was a group competition, or it was a group category, and it was one of the ladies that does like chargebacks and accounting and stuff like that. She dressed up. She just had a sash and kind of a nice nightgown, kind of like going out into town. But she just had a sash just to claim what she was.
Yeah.
And then one of our customer service guys, who's just standard looking guy, but he dressed really purposely like horrible. He went and got a long dark wig and kind of like shaved some of his hair. He went like all out.
Wow. Now I'll have you know, I almost shaved my beard to go as Data to. I almost just bicked it to and was gonna make up my face to go as Data. I was gonna make up my hands and do everything else. I decided the look for the night was not worth shaving my beard, because I've only shaved my beard once since I was 17.
Ooh.
So,
but
and I look terrible without it.
They wore the same
I'm
dress.
I'm an ugh some bitch.
So they ended up wearing the same dress, and they both dyed their hair black, or he wore a black wig and she dyed her hair black. And they came with before beer and after beer.
Oh, nice.
And so it was the beer goggles look.
Nice.
And so the before and after. And nice. I just cracked up laughing. I was like,
that's
oh my God,
great.
that's so true.
That's great.
It's so true. It's how people sit there and perceive.
It's a real thing, man.
It's a weird thing. Like, oh yeah, you're a 5 after beer. You're like a 12. Wow.
There's a Stephen Lynch song, I Guess You'll Do.
Yeah.
Looking up from me from your ham's pint. How about doing a local deal special where you go to events like QuakeCon and such, then do a giveaway at the event?
That's not really local, but...
Yeah, it wouldn't be local. There's PDX Land, which is kind of local to us. It's about an hour and a half north from me.
Yeah.
Where something like that would be possible, but you really have to work with the event coordinators. There's a lot more involved in something like that. There's also tax implications in something like that.
Yeah.
Where I need to make sure it makes business sense to do that giveaway. Not to get too... poo-pooey on it or anything like that, but there's a lot to take into account for things like that.
Now, if you wanted to fly to Portland and do a meet and greet,
there you go.
You can come do that, and then we might give you something.
Yep.
Be like, here's a beer, or a keychain.
Yeah. Took my daughter trick or treating. She went as Vampirina Ballerina.
Ooh, I know that one.
And my wife and I went as Vampirina's parents, Boris and Oksana. Nice.
I know that.
So my wife went as Charlotte's Web. Not the spider, not the pig, but actually as the web. So she made herself a shawl with a spider web on it, with a spider on it that said some pig. It was really cute. And then I went obviously as a random lieutenant commander who won't die on the away mission.
You didn't go as red shirt.
Purposely, I'm not an XO.
Yeah.
I'm not a junior officer.
You're not an enlisted man.
I'm not a lieutenant junior.
Yeah.
I'm a lieutenant commander, so I'm a senior officer. So I'm probably going to make it back up on the transport. And I'm not going to...
Well, that's not true. What was Tasha Yar?
Well, she was a lieutenant.
Oh, okay.
She was only a lieutenant.
She was only a lieutenant.
I outranked Tasha Yar.
There you go. That's right. You have 2.5 pits.
2.5.
So, yeah.
Yep. That was purposeful. I thought about going commander, but I can't remember the last time I saw a yellow shirt commander. There's blue shirt commanders and there's red shirt commanders, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Name me a yellow shirt commander. You can't.
Worf. Yes, no. Worf.
Worf's a lieutenant commander.
Generations. He gets the promotion.
No, he's promoted to lieutenant commander.
Was he?
He's promoted to match Geordi and Data. And
I thought he got.
He's promoted in Generations, and then when he joins DS9, he's a lieutenant commander.
Oh, okay. I thought
he's a yellow shirt lieutenant commander.
Oh.
Even when he's in charge of the Defiant and he's wearing a red shirt, he's a lieutenant commander who is in charge of the Defiant. So he's captain on deck, but he's lieutenant commander.
Yeah. I had a bunch of DS9 stuff to talk about tonight, but
I totally did too. We can
do that. Well, I'm on next week, but
that's true.
We can DS about that, but we have we can go on, but it is already 12 past 10.
It is. You want to talk for a couple minutes about?
That couple minutes is going to turn into 60 minutes.
Well, I know it is.
Yeah, that's a problem. I got work tomorrow, and you got work tomorrow. So do I. We all have work tomorrow.
It's up to you.
No. I'll say we can say we'll see how the episode next week goes.
So I'm gonna.
Unless you want to get,
I'll just start.
You can start a couple bit, and we can go.
I'll start the bit, and we'll see where it goes.
All right, that's fine.
So we obviously know what the superior Star Trek series is, and that's DS9.
That's TNG.
It's well established.
Well established TNG.
Well established. It was given the larger budget for a very good reason. No. They knew it was going to knock it out of the park from the beginning.
Bull crap. No. They gave it a larger budget because they knew, like, okay, one, it needs a larger budget because we have to pay twice as many actors.
It was not the B to TNG's A.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
For the first 3 seasons, it was.
Yeah, until Worf joined DS9.
Exactly. And then why? So wait, you're saying a TNG character had to save this show?
Ooh. Yeah, I kind of dug a hole right there.
You dug a hole.
I'm gonna try to step over that one.
And then on top of that, I think the last time we argued about this, we talked about size of the.
I bet.
Hi.
I bet.
The producers here.
Yep.
Producers, sorry.
Hey, Evelyn, do you want to come say hi? Come here.
Hi. You got a new puppy?
Here.
Hey, Daddy's filming.
You're not in your costume.
Come here. Do you want to be on camera real quick? Sure. You've never been on camera before, have you? Come on over here.
Right here.
In between. So this is my daughter, Miss. That's what we're gonna call her on the show. We're not gonna say your name because I don't want people knowing your name. But this is Miss. This is my 5-year-old.
You called her in by her name.
Oh well. Anyway, this is my daughter. She's 5. I've got another daughter, Bit. So.
Where's Coin?
Yep. Oh well. So anyway, this is my daughter.
Yes.
You ready for bed?
We were just talking about you too.
There you are.
We were just talking about. Do you remember what was your second princess costume? Do you remember?
So you were Bubble Puppy, and then I don't remember what you were for your second for your second Halloween, and then you were Sophia, and then you were Rapunzel, and then this year you were a princess. Do you remember what other princess you were? What was the other princess? She's been a princess 4 years in a row.
She was an Oregon cheerleader.
That's right. She was a cheerleader. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Cheerleader princess?
You were just a cheerleader. That's right.
She might have had a tiara.
Yep.
Tiara. No? No.
I did have a tiara.
You always have a tiara?
Is that me moving?
That's you moving.
Yep.
That's you on the camera.
So what version of Sophia the First were you before? Because Sophia has magical powers.
That's right.
She can transform.
Because of her amulet.
It's exactly.
She can talk to animals.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's why we watch it, because it has a talking rabbit.
That's right.
It gives her the power to talk to animals.
That's right. Yeah.
That's so cool. I wish I had an amulet like that.
That would be so cool.
Right?
Then
My wife
you can talk to your puppy.
Yeah, my wife talks to animals and believes they talk back.
What, yours don't?
No, but
Apparently only to her.
I don't think they like you.
Only to her.
one time, but there's a little puppy there's a little puppy that barks.
Oh, that's right. These are the give birth puppies. Yeah.
There's a little puppy that barks in there.
Yeah, this puppy gives birth to little puppies. Jump in your face.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
There's little puppies inside of the big puppy.
That's a choice to make.
Want to see the barky one?
Oh, is that the barky one?
That's the barky one?
That's the annoying one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the loud one. All right. Good night, you.
Good night. Let me.
Yep. Put him back in. Get him back in there. Urgh. Sounds like an old Radio Shack noisemaker.
I know.
There
I
we
remember
go.
those companies. I remember loving going to the Radio Shack.
And now she can bark. Whoa.
That's right. All right. Good night,
All
miss.
right. Night.
All right.
Let me grab the door.
Cheerleader and princess is sort of the same. Very cool, Dad. Nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Too much candy. She lost her 2 front teeth. Yeah. So she lost her 2 front teeth. She already lost her 2 bottom ones, and those are her adult teeth that are growing in the bottom. She's losing her 2 outside teeth, outside of her 2 front teeth.
Okay.
Those are so wiggly, they're about to go any day. Let's see, what else? When I was her age, I lost my front 4 teeth. I lost tops and bottoms at the same time.
Oh.
And they didn't grow back for like 2.5 years.
Wow.
I didn't get them back till like 3rd grade.
Wow.
I lost them and then they just stopped.
Jeez.
They just didn't grow. So
Yeah, TNG is the superior version.
So that's the argument. Again, I dug myself a hole with Worf joined, and all of a sudden.
So basically, our big debate between the two of us has always been, we agree on basically 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on down.
Right.
Greatest show, and 1st and 2nd they're really close, but they're flip flopped all for the two of us.
I think they're further apart in my mind than they are in
They
yours.
could be, but in my mind, first 2 seasons of TNG, crap. Mm-hmm. Crap. Mm-hmm. First 3 seasons of DS9.
Whoa.
Crap.
No.
So I'm sorry. I retract that. 2.5.
No.
2.5. I am on starting season 4 of DS9.
Way of the Warrior.
I had to skip so much of season 3.
I will say, season 3 had some low points.
Has a lot
Do you remember how season 2 came in?
I remember.
How did season 2 come in? You would tell me.
I don't. It's been a while. I'm already on season 4.
Okay, so let me bring you up to speed. So
remind me, and I'll probably. Oh yeah.
So the Bajorans want to kick Starfleet out of DS9, and so Kira is sent off the station, and replaced with Bareil.
Oh yeah, Vedic Bareil.
Vedic Bareil, or who later becomes a Vedic.
Yeah.
He's not a Vedic yet.
They don't kick her off, or they don't. Okay, go
They
ahead.
send her a planet.
Yeah, 1 episode.
They
it was 2 episodes.
It was a 3-parter.
The 2 episode part.
It was a 3-parter.
2.
It's 3.
2.
Look it up. Season 2, episode 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-parter.
Season. Oh, you're talking the beginning of season.
Season 2.
The first 3 episodes.
Yeah. That's a 3 parts.
Yeah, it's worth skipping.
With the Bajoran Circle? With the
all
terrorist group of the Circle?
It's worth skipping all 3 of them.
No, we're not.
Yes, it's worth skipping. It's horrible acting. It's horrible. Honestly, okay, for the first 3 seasons,
it's way better than any TNG episode or season 1 or 2 acting.
Yes,
remarkably better, but not even comparable.
But
better.
we're also talking. Okay, we're talking a whole millennium difference or 10 years difference of 1997.
5.
No, 96 was the first season.
93.
Garbage.
Yes.
I didn't want to hit his car.
Thank you.
Exactly, garbage. DS9 is garbage. Your wife agrees with me. But we're talking 88 was TNG, and so we're talking 80s versus 93.
January 3rd, 1993.
Okay, fine. 93. But that's season 1.
Right.
You're talking about season 2.
Right.
So it's at least 94.
But I will say...
So we're talking 8 years.
Let's take a counter at Farpoint versus The Emissary. Let's take episode 1 versus episode 1.
Okay, the only reason The Emissary is even halfway good is because Picard's in it.
No.
Yes, because...
And what does Cisco do to Picard in episode 1? He gives him the finger in his own office.
You know what? So, I knew you were going to bring that point up. You know what's very funny is at the beginning he gives him the finger. And you know what has happened at the end? He grovels at Picard.
Oof.
He grovels at him because he said he wanted to be fired and removed from that office, and he begs Picard, don't take me away from this. Because you have the authority to take me away.
That's Cisco's character development, not groveling to Picard as Locutus of Borg.
And Picard,
that is groveling to Picard as the soon-to-be admiral of the region.
And then that's what ends up... You mean captain or whatever. And then that was the other thing. Cisco's acting style is so much... I took this as like... it looks like a WWE wrestler. Oh, yeah! And then he's quiet. Oh, no! Jake! Come here.
That's not the point!
Points! Where Picard is very defined. Naval British style. And so his character is just annoying. It gets better, but at the same time, it gets better and worse at the same time. My thought came out, the first 3.5 seasons, the only really, really good episodes are with Quark and what's the Taylor? Garrick. I was going to Garg, but Garrick. Those are like, you can't miss any of those because they're
any episode with Garrick is a good episode.
Any episode with Garrick or Quark base of like...
What's funny is Bashir was one of the weaker characters on that.
But then he came fantastic with the 2 of them.
Yeah, but any Garrick Bashir episode is astoundingly good.
Oh, yeah.
And once Bashir joins Section 31, which I'll get into in a minute.
But that is a later series.
It's a later series, but it cannot be overlooked. And it's not a valid argument that it happened later because you didn't get good until season 5.
No, season 4.
Ooh, you got good in 4.
Good in 4.
Wow, DS9 got good in
3.5.
Was good in
3.5.
Emissary was good.
There are episodes that are really good.
I will say there's stinkers. There's Come Along Home.
There are a lot of stinkers in DS9.
How many more stinkers are there in TNG?
That's the thing. So there's stinkers versus classics.
Yeah.
There are no classics in DS9. There are good storytelling that you have to watch over and over, but I can watch that individual single episode of TNG and be like, I felt satisfied. I felt good watching that. Yeah. It may have been crappy. I may have seen the doors open uneven, but I enjoyed myself.
Riker may have bumped his shoulder in.
Exactly, whatever. But I enjoyed it, and it was great. It brought me back to a time where DS9, a lot of the good episodes are these trilogies, continuations of stories that you have to watch. And so because that's why I don't like DS9 as the predominant, is you cannot jump in at any given time at DS9.
I'm going to go, and I will agree with that. They're two completely different styles, where TNG is very episodic. It's very one in, one out, and everything's
a lot harder.
And and everything's the same when they leave.
Yes.
Whereas DS9 is one very continuously evolving story. And
once they kind of introduced the Dominion.
DS9 was the West Wing 15 years earlier.
Yeah,
it was.
It really was.
It was that genre of television.
Yeah.
It was the West Wing. It was 24. It was that individual episodic that leads into the next. That leads into the next.
I think they had like a 6 episodic.
Whereas
series.
TNG is NCIS.
Yes.
Where yes, there's character development along the way. There's things that change along the way. There's crew that jump in and out. But I can sit and watch any episode of NCIS and feel thoroughly enjoyed by that episode.
Yeah.
Where DS9 took a little bit more time in character development midway through some of their seasons, and they had these spiritual explorations of their characters. And there was less to explore because they're on a space station. So they had to be more character-based. But I think that gives it a better sense of dynamicness than TNG did. Where TNG, it really feels flat a lot of the time. Where a lot of the episodes feel the same. Whereas with DS9, it's telling an overarching story. And that's where I like that style better.
So I agree in the overarching story part. Overarching story, DS9 trumps TNG because TNG never even got past 2 episodes.
No.
Although I did finish TNG, out of all of the 2 episode arcs, I believe there's only 2 bad ones. All the rest of them are home runs. So to where
Encounter of Farpoint's number 1.
Okay, so yeah, I did. Okay, so 3 bad ones. 3 bad ones then.
The Pulaski coming on board was a bad one.
That's why you skip season.
You skip season 2.
You have to skip season.
Is there a
2.
season of DS9 that you skip? No, there's not.
1 and 2.
No.
You can skip 1 and 2.
No, you can't.
You can skip 1 and 2.
No.
You can skip most of 1 and 2.
No.
You can you can be like, oh, I need to get Emissary. And then you can skip 8 episodes. And then you gotta go watch more. And then you can skip 8 episodes. Season 1 though, you have to watch Toss Or Die. So there are good episods in season 1
There's good episodes.
Season 2. Yeah, exactly.
But they're so sporadic.
There are sporadic ones in DS9. and the fact that they are now, okay, here's my other big point.
When did TNG get good? It's when Riker grew the beard.
Which is season 3.
Right. When did DS9 get good?
It's
when Cisco grew the beard.
No, when Cisco, which is midway through season 3.
Right.
So we're already season 3, midway through. So
but
DS9
I will say,
is still ahead. And it really didn't get better till Cisco shaved his head, which is season 4.
That's true.
So and that's also when Worf comes in.
Season 4, episode 1, Way of the Warrior. One of the best episodes.
And it's a great episode. Now, they're dependent upon these other characters. The other thing was there is more character stories to build off of because it is a space station. There are more things to happen on.
Yes.
If you even take... So you have the main bridge crew, which is 9 characters. And then you have all the supporting crew, which adds up to like 12 to 13 characters.
Yep.
Then you have or TNG, 7 characters, and it's based on 7 characters.
Yes.
7 only characters.
7 characters plus 1 guy in engineering.
Exactly. You know, you have Barkley somewhere popping up every now and then.
Randomly, you've got Guinan or O'Brien.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, O'Brien started on TNG as well.
But yeah, exactly. Well, I think they just did that to spin them off to get some people into it and be like, "Oh, look, we have it's in the same universe because we saw this guy, so he's kind of on here." So that's where I think it was. It was harder for TNG to become good. I do agree the storytelling in the end was better in DS9, but I think it was harder for TNG. It's more nostalgic for TNG. I feel more in love and more immersed in TNG, but I feel very West Wing fascinated, involved in the story plot.
I disagree that I feel more engaged with TNG. See what I did there? Because with DS9, the world is not a utopia. Think of TNG. Yes, there's conflicts with the Romulans. Yes, there's this, there's that. There's this one-off weird thing with this race.
Most of it's the Prime Directive crap.
Most of it's Prime Directive, or the holodeck went crazy, or there's a transporter accident.
There's plenty of holodeck stuff. DS9.
Sherlock Holmes times 2.
There's plenty of holodeck stuff. Bashir is trapped in a mystery where he's a detective. Come on.
There's that. But the thing with DS9 is it feels more real. And I'm going to loop this into Section 31. We all know Bashir is an operative for Section 31. It's headed up by Sloan. It's this secret wing that the Federation disavows knowledge of that operates on behalf of the Federation in covert affairs to influence other governments, to commit assassinations and terroristic acts, so the Federation can live as a utopia.
Yeah, it's their...
it explains why
Obsidian Order.
Right, it's the Obsidian Order versus Section 31 versus the...
Tal Shiar. Romulan.
Yeah.
Tal Shiar.
Tal Shiar, thank you. I thought you said Tasha Yar. I said, no, her clone was...
No, it wasn't her clone. It was her daughter.
Her daughter, right.
It was her daughter because she traveled back to Enterprise D.
Right.
Yeah, D.
Yeah, C.
Yeah, C.
The Forgotten Enterprise.
Yeah,
the Enterprise that doesn't matter.
The horrible looking one.
Yes. Are those warp cells? I guess.
Yeah, let's just shorten and fatten this Enterprise to the D.
Let's just round the corners.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Let's make a flat disc and a huge center ball.
Make it look like it's freshman 15. Yeah. But DS9 it does get a lot of the political drama, which is why I compare it to like West Wing, where there are political factions at play there.
A lot of the political stuff was boring too. But
it sets up the greater storylines. The political dissonance with Cardassia and the Dominion, and meanwhile you've got traditional Cardassia who wants to remain strong, who doesn't like the Dominion. So there's rebellion within the Cardassian Empire.
That was fine, but I'm also talking.
There's the Maquis rebelling against the Federation.
Yeah, but then there's also the religious and governmental of Bajor. Those are horrible ones. Those are horrible ones.
Yes, some of them are horrible. Some of them are.
All of them are
Some of them are horrible.
All of them are horrible ones. 90% of them. There's one or two. I had another...
I will say I don't like the conclusion to Cisco taking back DS9 with only the Defiant and the help of the Prophets.
Oh, okay, and
one I don't like.
Here was another point. Okay,
but I do like Cisco committing genocide on a planet with the Defiant and spreading toxic gas over the Maquis homeworld.
What about Cisco basically lying to the Romulans to get them into the war? And
heck yes.
Yes, but that shows how crappy of a person he is, to where Picard is like, look, I still do things by the book, and I still got things done, and I'm still more profoundly respected than that guy over there.
Picard got stuff done sometimes because Riker lit a fire under his ass.
Doesn't matter, but he still did things by the book.
Not necessarily.
Closer than
Cisco.
Closer than lying to the Federation and everyone to get a whole entire race into a war.
Right, but Cisco was dealing with winning a war and saving the Federation. Picard was dealing with first contact on some unknown homeworld that you're never going to hear of for the rest of the series.
That's not true.
There were lower stakes in TNG.
Who were the Trill? Where did we first see them? TNG.
Yeah, and they sucked. So they casted Jadzia and gave her spots instead because she's way hotter there.
Who brought the Ferengi? Actually, I found out though that
who lost their ship to the Ferengi.
Yeah, that was So
I don't remember an episode where Quark took over DS9.
I do remember an episode where Quark travels back in time to be Area 51.
Touche. I remember one where they traveled back in time to the Tribbles.
Yeah, that is one of the top 2 episodes.
Who are they? Those are Klingons. What happened with them? We did not discuss it without Cyrus.
That's one of the best episodes ever. But I was just watching one. There is so much time.
By the way, I'm not even paying attention to chat because this is so much fun.
There is so much time travel stuff too, or quantum singularity bullcrap that happens in DS9. I just watched one where O'Brien is going into the future every 5 hours to find out what's going to happen, and he ends up killing himself. But then
wasn't that the series finale for TNG?
And how good of an episode was it?
It was badass.
Exactly. How crappy of an episode did DS9 make out of it?
Oh, that was the one where he was stuck in the town.
Yeah.
And he was seeing the future of that town. Wasn't that it?
No.
That was that was a season 1 episode where Bashir and O'Brien are stuck on a planet.
They're stuck on a planet.
Yeah.
Again, this one, all it was just he got shocked by a conduit, and then there just happened to be singularity around that happened to be there, and so he's traveling through time. What? That's stupid. I'm not saying there aren't stupid TNG episodes, but
there's more of them.
No, there's not.
Do we have to go episode by episode and submit our list?
I will next week.
That would be interesting. To submit our list.
Now, let's go next week. We can go and print out a list of here's every episode forever.
Here's our top 20 DS9. Here's our bottom 20 DS9. Here's our top 20 TNG. Here's our bottom 20, and which stack has more weight.
We could do something like that. We could do a list.
Because there's 160 episodes of each. There's not slim pickings for episodes. So I think we could each come up with maybe even top 10 best, top 10 worst.
Top 10. Well, I think we could do that, but then I could also sit there and think we could do a hit, medium, and miss list of, and then we tally how many hits versus how many misses.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think DS9 might get greater than that just because
you were going to say obliterate.
Just because
you were going to say obliterate.
They have sectional episodes that are really good.
Like all of season 4 and all of season 5, with one episode missing.
No, there's some crappy.
Oh, and if you want to say it didn't get good until season 3, there's an episode in episode 2 with Cisco teaming up with the Dominion to help track down some rogue Jem'Hadar, and they're trying to keep a founder alive. And
that's not season 2.
Isn't that season 2?
No.
Maybe it's season 3.
Yeah, the Dominion don't get introduced till season 3.
Okay.
They're still doing the whole religious stuff in 1 and 2, and then the Maquis get introduced end of season 2 is the end of season 2,
which were originally introduced with TNG with Rolaren.
It's kind of interesting how TNG just does everything first and has to do it all.
And
first.
How your Borg were so crappy.
And that was an 80s, early 90s thing. Borg would kick the crap out of the Dominion, by the way. The Jem'Hadar would have nothing up against the Borg.
Whew. That's a crossover I want to see.
Now that would be. Now we all know.
How 8472 turned
exactly.
out.
That's fine, but that's not the Jem'Hadar. The Jem'Hadar were just basically Klingons on crack.
That's true.
And Worf
literally on crack.
And Worf kicks the crap out of them anyways.
Yeah.
That's one of the best episodes too. Is when Worf was captured and he has to battle all of them, and he's half beaten and he still kicks
and he's slaughtered like 50 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That to me was like, Worf's a badass.
I will say Worf's very first episode, The Way of the Warrior. So season 4, episode 1, where they introduce Worf, and he comes onto the station and he breaks up a fight between some Klingons. The political ramifications of what he did. He kicks the crap out of Martok's son and takes his dagger.
Yeah.
Takes his Doktog. And Martok comes back to him and demands it back, and he goes, "Here you go." Now, in Klingon tradition, if you get into battle with an opponent and you don't kill him, you're insulting him. You're bringing dishonor to that Klingon because you're denying him the right to die in battle. If you disarm a Klingon and you still don't kill him, you're proving that you're better than him and you want him to know it. Yeah. When you give the dagger back to that Klingon's dad and say, "Teach your son better," you're bringing dishonor on that Klingon himself. So the ball's on Worf to walk into DS9 and kick the crap out of Martok's son, and then give Martok his son's dagger back and say, "Here, make sure he knows how to use that next time."
Oh yeah, no, I agree that Worf as a character grows so much better in DS9.
Yeah. He's given some room to grow, some room to breathe in DS9.
But that's the thing is,
some more character depth to explore, if you will.
Are because they have the ability to do that because they're focused on 12 to 13 different characters, and it's like, oh, we can build on it and we can develop this.
Versus you couldn't character develop 8 on TNG.
No, you couldn't because you're on a tiny area, and it was focused. It was trying to be just like the original.
To seek out new worlds and new civilizations. You have a new First Contact every 3 weeks.
Yes.
And you couldn't character develop beyond transporter accidents and Sherlock Holmes coming to life?
You couldn't because after that 2 days, you're on to the next person. So you have to realize what's different. What's different? Oh, I got to go back to my base form.
That's right. Let's establish that Barclay's a sniveling little bastard, and
he's not a bastard. He's just shy and misunderstood. He's got ADD
and fantasizes about beating up Riker in the holodeck and making out with Troy.
There's probably a DS episode just like that.
Ooh, I don't remember Bashir's episode where he was making out with Dax. Remember, Bashir actually made out with Dax.
Yeah, I'm sure there's.
So like Barclay, I'm sure there's a
hollow suite.
The socially inept one actually gets to achieve his dream.
That's fine, but I'm sure Bashir just goes and makes out with 1940s women.
It's true. By the way, a good holodeck or Hollow Suite Gone Wild episode is the one with Bashir and Garrick, where they're in the 40s gangster movie.
They only took that off of First Contact.
Yeah.
They ripped it off of a TNG movie. And how many movies were there?
Which, by the way, TNG ripped the uniforms off of DS9.
How many movies were made of DS9?
How many should have been made?
0.
Oh, right.
Because how great was the ending of DS9 versus the ending of TNG?
The ending of TNG had Q.
And how many awesome Q episodes were there versus TNG?
How's that crutch working for you?
Doesn't matter.
Every season you go, we're out of ideas. Let's bring Q back. John Delancey will save us.
Fate of the universe versus fate of a planet.
Yeah.
Your
fate of the Alpha Quadrant versus fate of a planet.
No, it was fate of the universe.
Right. No, fate of humanity.
No, it was the whole universe.
He was holding humanity
on trial, but he said the universe was going to be destroyed because that singularity took over the whole entire universe.
Look, the spark of life. Here it is. Oh, what happened?
That primordial,
nothing.
Yeah,
that primordial ooze.
He was a great character.
Yeah.
But the best characters, there are better individual characters on TNG.
So someone brings up a good point. The best Star Trek movie was Galaxy Quest.
That's a great Star Trek movie. Yeah, no.
I
will take Galaxy Quest over Voyager any day.
Yes. I will take First Contact over Galaxy Quest.
First Contact is
the best Star Trek movie.
Oh, hands down. Down best Star Trek movie ever. It's like Die Hard and Star Trek.
Yes. It's campy without going over the top. It's got character development. It's deep. It's fate of humanity, fate of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Fate of the Federation on Picard's shoulders, on his personal feelings, on Data's personal feelings, on Data's final quest to finally become human and become an individual with skin and biomechanical and whatnot, and everyone fighting internal demons, external demons. The Borg Queen is magnificent.
Oh, yeah. They did a fantastic job, and then they butchered the other two.
Nemesis wasn't bad. Nemesis gets a worse rap than it deserves. I will say it wasn't great. It was not great.
I will have to rewatch it before. I've seen it twice.
I think it's better than Generations. I think it's a better story than Generations.
I hated Generations.
Yeah. And then Insurrections shouldn't have been.
Insurrection was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they shaved Riker's beard.
Yeah.
Oh, what were they thinking?
What were you thinking? That's what made you good.
That made you good. And you're like 45 to 50 years old. Don't shave your beard.
Yeah. Yep.
In a bath.
Yep.
I think the only part I hated about Insurrection was not Insurrection, but what was the last one?
Nemesis.
Two parts. They made the Enterprise seem like the ship itself like a little piece of crap.
Yes.
And they had to sit there, oh, it's the nebula that it's in, and half the crap doesn't work because of this nebula.
Which, by the way, that's the Federation flagship. It is the most advanced ship in the fleet at that point, and it got kicked around by some little mining vessels.
Exactly. That was in, and they had to sit there and say because it was in a nebula.
Right.
And so half the, it's like, bullcrap, and Data dies.
Never saw the sun. By the way, one of the better endings to the movies was Data coming back to life as that prototype.
You know, it's actually funny because as I was watching TNG at the end, the last season where they introduced Data's mom, she references a third android.
Yes.
And so I thought that, I was like, that actually kind of gets back to that one little part. Yep. I was like, oh, okay. I can get with it. Yeah, I can get with that a little bit more. So.
Yep. All right. We better stop, otherwise we're going to talk all night.
45 minutes of TNG.
I knew we were going to do it too, but it had to be said. So I'm wearing the uniform. I'll close on this. Again, I have to wear basically a muscle suit under this shirt to make my body lines not show up and to make it look screen accurate. Whereas DS9, they never had that problem.
Yeah, because Cisco got fat throughout the season.
No, because Garrick was such a better tailor than
Cisco
TNG.
got fat.
No.
Cisco gets fat.
Nope. Doesn't.
Yes, he does. He gains about 30 pounds.
He gets thick.
He gains about 30 pounds.
He looks good in season 6. He looks darn good. He grows into that body. Into that bald head.
It's like this.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like, no. Whereas TNG, they look like officers.
They look like kids in their pajamas.
They look like officers.
And I say that wearing the uniform now.
They look like officers. Even the episode where Riker or Thomas comes back, he has a pad. He looks better than everyone else because he's wearing that. He's wearing the older uniform, which and you can tell there's padding. He looks better than everyone else, and that's only season 4, season 3, mid-season 3. He still looks better than all of them.
I like the uniform with what's basically the jacket, so it's not the reverse pull-up jumpsuit. Because how practical is this for a military uniform?
I like the design.
Yeah,
I do. I agree that the design gets better, but I'm saying the physical actor themselves and they get out of shape.
There's a great interview with forget his name, Tom Paris and Janeway. And Harry Kim.
Oh, Voyager, where they
get fat.
Yeah, they're like, you're in the middle of nowhere.
So your character is playing a Starfleet captain who is abandoned 70,000 light years from home and has a 70-year journey with limited resources, 32 photon torpedoes, and only enough dilithium to go about 10,000 light years. And you've gained 35 pounds.
Yeah.
So we're not telling you to lose weight because we can't officially do that, but maybe be true to your character a little bit more.
that's like Hurley on Lost. It's like, how are you gaining weight?
Right.
Like every other episode, they had to have him stealing food to be like, oh, that explains it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have him steal again because he gained another 15.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but yeah, Tom Paris, Harry Kim, and Kate Mulgrew were gaining like 10 pounds a season during the shooting of Voyager, and so every season and sometimes mid-season they'd have to have little pep talks of, okay, we're gonna start you on a trainer and get a diet because we need you not looking like you're gaining 30 pounds out in the middle of the Delta Quadrant. Thanks, guys. All right, this has been episode 56. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Halloween, everyone. We appreciate you watching. Thank you for those who donated. Thank you for sticking around and chat so much. I know we didn't talk the last 45 minutes with you guys, but there were greater needs that needed to be sussed out, like how much better DS9 is than TNG.
And how I won this argument.
I don't think you won the argument.
I think I came out slightly ahead.
At Craft Computing, we're talking about lots of sci-fi while you're nerding out on Star Trek. We all knew this was an unavoidable topic considering your costume. Pajamas. Yes. I might wear this to bed tonight. At least the shirt. It's nice and comfy. So, anyway, episode 56 in the books. Thank you so much. We'll be back same bat time, same bat channel next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
Look me up on Patreon. Links down in the video description. Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing. Follow John on pretty much any form of social media at Hops and Brews. And check out his YouTube channel. Usually there's links down in the video description. I don't think I added one, but I'll get one added tomorrow morning. Somewhere. Hops and Brews on YouTube. Lots of beer reviews, lots of fun stuff.
I'll be doing a more in-depth review of the Rogue Ale if you guys are interested.
Yes. So
I'll be coming out next week.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.